Yudo is a desperate simp who's currently at his girlfriend, Misei's house to convince her parents for marriage. He says that the engagement ring he got for her cost 1 million yen and a further 8 million down payment for the new apartment. But Misei's gold digger parents think that's still not enough and demand he come up with even more money. They even suggest he sell the lavish house his father gave him, but Yudo says it's not that simple. Mom gets furious upon hearing this and starts shouting at him, so Misa takes him outside to talk to him privately. Unfortunately, Misa also turns out to be a gold digger, and she urges him to get the extra cash for the sake of their marriage. Yudo says he's stretched and can't provide anymore, but Misa makes it clear that she'll only marry him if he gets the money. Left with no other option, the poor simp reluctantly agrees and asks for some time. Later, Yudo is at a cafe, which turns out to be where he works as a waiter. He's eating leftover food on his lunch break to save up every penny he can. Coincidentally, Misa also arrives there with her friend, completely unaware that Yudo is eavesdropping on their conversation. She starts complaining about how her boyfriend refuses to offer more money for their marriage, then casually drops the bomb that she's pregnant with his child and has no choice in the matter. When her friend asks about her plan, Misa slyly explains that once she has the baby, she'll immediately marry a rich man, then take Yudo to court for a property settlement. Upon hearing this, Yudo is so devastated that he decides to take a shower to calm himself down. He vents all his frustration there, yelling at himself for ending up with a gold digger like Misei. Just then, a mysterious system gives out a sudden update that the player's anger has reached its peak. In order to make him again, the system has modified the global economy and reduced the value of money to 1/1,000,000th of its current value. From now on, sen and ren will become the normal currency units, but Yudo's current assets will not be affected. He will also receive a 15% interest on his assets, which will amount to 5,000 yen daily. Yudo freaks out upon hearing the strange voice and thinks he's slowly losing his mind. He quickly gets dressed and rushes outside, as it turns out he needs to pick up his sister from the airport. Yudo is so broke that as soon as he gets on a bus, he embarrassingly asks how many yen the fare is for a one-way trip to the airport. But his question makes everyone inside the bus burst into laughter, as if he's told a joke. An ugly guy claims that carrying a yen on the bus is more unlikely than winning a lottery. Another loser explains that earning 2 sen a month is considered ridiculously good in this economy. Their comment puzzles Yudo, as he's pretty sure the normal fare to the airport is 1,000 yen. He asks the driver once again, but a suited guy gets fired up for no reason and shouts at Yudo to stop pretending to be rich. He claims that even if Yudo sells his entire family's kidneys, he wouldn't be able to make a single yen. When the driver tells him to get out of the bus, Yudo finally reveals a 100 yen coin, leaving everyone with their mouths gaping in shock. They stare at him like they've seen a ghost and ask how a miserable guy like him could have that kind of money. After getting off the bus, Yudo checks online and learns that a single iPhone costs 1 sen, a branded Gucci bag is 17 sen, and a Rolex watch is 1 yen. Yudo wonders if the 10,000 yen he earned from his salary will even work, so he decides to head to the bank for answers. A while later, he arrives at the bank, where a female teller with massive juggernauts greets him. She politely asks how she can assist him, and Yudo says he wants to make a deposit and set up mobile banking. When she asks how much, Yudo replies with 100,000 yen, nearly making her juggernauts pop out in shock. The female staff then checks banknotes and verifies that all of them are indeed genuine. At this moment, the system pops up with yet another notification for Yudo. It explains that in this world, the primary currency units are yen, sen, and ren. 1,000 yen notes and 10,000 yen notes are considered insanely large amounts, so special anti-counterfeiting methods are applied to them. It is also revealed that 1 yen equals to 100 sen and 1,000 rin. After the deposit is made, Yudo is about to leave when he suddenly notices the gold digger Misa with an ugly sugar daddy. He's squeezing her rear side as if he's about to extract plutonium from there. Yudo bluntly tells the disgusting woman to her face that he won't be marrying her anymore. Misa smugly claims that a beautiful lady like her can have both a boyfriend and a husband at the same time, but Yudo snaps back that he'd rather poop in his hands and clap. The comment offends the old man, who shouts at Yudo to apologize to his girlfriend immediately. He brags about being the president of a large corporation and threatens to have Yudo's bank account suspended. He then orders his guards to throw Yudo out, but to his shock, one guard reveals that Yudo is actually the most distinguished client here. At that moment, bank manager Fujiwara appears and explains that because Yudo deposited 100,000 yen in cash, he will now receive a black diamond card along with 24-hour services. Hearing this, the salty old man insists that a pathetic loser like Yudo could never own that much money and suggests it must be fake. But this only enraged Fujiwara, who refuses to let anyone insult his top client. He immediately freezes the old man's account and denies him any future loans. Horrified, the old man starts begging the manager to reconsider, claiming he'll go bankrupt. Even Misa clings to Yudo like a blood-sucking leech, insisting she only loves him and that the old man is just her uncle. But Yudo is having none of it, and he has the manager throw them out of the bank like trash. Later, Yudo finally reaches the airport, where his sister, Saki, has been waiting for hours. He apologizes for being late and offers to buy her some drinks to make up for it. Yudo suggests going to an expensive cafe called Stara for some coffee, but Saki, knowing her brother is dead broke, insists they eat somewhere outside the airport instead. Just then, some of Saki's rowdy classmates approach them and begin hassling Yudo for absolutely no reason. They claim that a low-grade man like him could never afford coffee at Stara and insist that Saki should come with them instead. Yudo tries to walk away with his sister, but one of the brats keeps insulting him, saying he looks homeless and probably can't even afford a bottle of water. His equally dumb girlfriend also says that they should leave Yudo before he transfers his poverty and misery onto them. At this moment, Yudo receives a notification from his system, which says that a consumption task has been issued. He will now have to spend 1 yen within 2 hours, and the reward will be physical enhancement. This gives Yudo a brilliant idea, and he once again pulls out his lucky coin. Minutes later, a huge crowd rushes in one direction, seemingly chasing after something. The annoying couple asks what's going on, and a random girl explains that everything at Stara is free today. The rude boyfriend bolts toward the cafe, only to find out that Yudo is the one who paid for everyone's drinks. Yudo proudly says that since it's a hot day, everyone should drink as much as they want. He then turns to the rude boyfriend and offers him a cup of coffee, but the brat snaps back, saying a poor laborer like Yudo shouldn't act important just because he has a few cents. He then loudly declares that he'll never drink such cheap coffee, claiming that in Western countries even dogs wouldn't touch this garbage, let alone someone as rich as him. As expected, his comment infuriates the entire crowd, and they start beating him to a pulp. The brat yells for his girlfriend to help, but she pretends not to know him and runs away in fear. Meanwhile, Yudo walks away with his sister, who's still in shock at how he was able to afford all of that. Yudo casually says it was just chump change for him, and makes it clear that he can go to any lengths to save people from dehydration. As they leave the airport, Yudo gets a notification that his mission has been completed, and he has received his reward, with his stamina now boosted to 3 times that of a normal person. Meanwhile, the two are waiting for their taxi when a fancy sports car suddenly pulls up. The driver turns out to be his manager, Yanagi, and she asks what he's doing here when he has a project presentation in the afternoon. It turns out Yudo also works at another company besides being a waiter, pulling double shifts to save up for his marriage. He no longer needs the salary, but since he's worked hard on the presentation, Yudo decides to go ahead with it anyway. Saki also encourages him to go, teasing that he shouldn't miss the chance to get close to such a stacked boss. Yudo then gets into the car, where Yanagi tells him to run through the presentation once more. She promises a big fat bonus if his project passes, and while Yudo couldn't care less about the money, he still assures her he'll give it his best shot. After a while, they arrive at the company office, only to learn that a random guy has already taken up Yudo's position. This guy turns out to be the cousin of one of the managers, Kawai, and he reveals that he's going to work on the project instead. Yudo warns him to set aside and go back to whichever crack den he came from, but the guy refuses. This prompts Yudo to grab his hand and bend it painfully, showcasing his enhanced agility and strength. Yudo then proceeds to punish him even more when suddenly, manager Kawai shows up and orders him to stop. Kawai, who looks like he's been constipated for days, declares that he's not satisfied with Yudo's performance and has replaced him with his cousin. Yudo argues that it's his hard work and it's unfair to strip him off his duties at the last moment, but Kawai tells him to get out and find another job. Just then, Yanagi steps in and firmly states that Yudo built the project from the ground up, so there's no way he can be replaced. She also tells Kawai that he doesn't have the right to give direct orders to her subordinate without going through her. This leaves the guy furious, but he simply walks away from there without causing any commotion. Yudo, meanwhile, thinks to himself that Yanagi may be thick on the outside, but she's truly a softie at heart. Shortly after, the much-anticipated conference begins, and Yudo ends up delivering a jaw-dropping presentation, which ends up impressing the vice president of a tech company greatly. Yanagi then congratulates Yudo by bringing her bazookas close to him, which makes his biological instrument react. But their steamy moment is cut short when the vice president announces that the president is on his way to discuss their debt settlement. Yanagi is shocked, as she doesn't recall the company having any debts, but Kawai insists that they are indeed several hundred yen in debt, all of which is documented in the company's books. He says that at this rate, they won't be able to pay the employees' salaries or even keep the office plants alive. Yanagi still tries to argue that the company is making good profit because she recently checked the books, but Kawaii says those books are fake. He asserts that the old seniors have deceived her, and now she'll have to pay the price all on her own. Kawaii then drops another bombshell, revealing that he recently started a new company and will be the one signing the contract with the tech company. He also reveals that Yanagi's debt-ridden company will be absorbed by the tech company for just 90 yen. Hearing this, Yanagi freaks out, saying it's unfair to exploit her weakness by buying her company for so little. But Kawaii coldly points out that she doesn't even have the 90 yen, so she has no choice but to sell. Just then, the president of the tech company arrives to discuss the debt settlement. Alongside him is bank manager Fujiwara, who is stunned to see Yudo here. By now, every top dog in the city has heard of the ultra-rich man who casually walked into the bank and deposited 100,000 yen like it was nothing. The president realizes Yudo is that man, so he introduces himself and says it's an honor to meet him. Witnessing this, Kawaii questions the president if he's talking to the right person, as Yudo is just a janitor here. But this only enraged the president, who shouts at him for insulting the wealthiest man in town. Everyone in the room is stunned by the revelation, as they never expected a sorry sack like Yudo to have that kind of wealth. Yudo then confronts the president about his intention to buy the company for 90 yen, despite his name not being on the board of directors list. This exposes the fraudulent president, who immediately shifts his tone and promises to handle the debt. But then Yudo reveals that these people were creating fake books in an attempt to sell the company illegally. He asks the bank manager to conduct a thorough investigation on these frauds, and Fujiwara is more than happy to do so. Kawaii, who's almost about to cry, desperately claims that he's innocent, but everyone in the room, even the plant, knows that he's lying. A few hours later, he is arrested for embezzlement and creating fake books, and sentenced to several years in prison. That evening, Yanagi invites Yudo to her house to personally thank him for saving her company. As they drink wine and chat, Yanagi suddenly trips and falls, but Yudo manages to catch her in the nick of time. She claims that she has sprained her ankle and cannot walk, so she wants him to carry her upstairs. Yanagi requests him not to do anything weird to her, and he happily accepts. But as soon as they reach her room, Yanagi suddenly pounces on him like a cat, and the two start exchanging saliva. 6 hours later, they finally wrap things up, and Yanagi pretends to be the poor soul who accidentally fell for him. She wonders how he managed to keep going back and forth for 6 whole hours, and he casually replies that it was only a warm-up. This excites her once more, and she jumps on him for round 2, but then Yudo receives a mission on his system. He needs to spend 50 pennies before the day ends, and the reward for completing it will be a mystery. After some more hours of vigorous boom-boom, the two finally get dressed, and Yudo casually asks if he can invest in her company. But Yanagi flat-out refuses, saying they just recovered from an incident, so she'll have to think things over before making a big decision. After this, she suddenly tongue massages him again and tries to initiate round 3, but even Yudo, with his enhanced stamina, is worn out and urges her to take a break. Moments later, Yudo gets a call from his best friend, Wataru, which immediately worries him. He rushes to the hospital and finds that Wataru's aunt, who is very close to him, has been hospitalized with an illness. Yudo sits beside her and starts doing criminal activities like peeling an apple in the most chaotic way possible while rambling about random nonsense. He reveals that when he was in high school, he used to often have lunch at Aunt's shop, even though it was bang average. Wataru, meanwhile, is in urgent need of money, but when he considers asking his best friend for help, he stops himself, knowing that Yudo's company is already going through a rough patch and that his sister has just started university, making it a bad time to burden him. Just then, a nurse shows up with 2 macho attendants, and she announces that Aunt will have to be shifted to another room. This worries Wataru, and he desperately pleads that he's going to arrange the hospitalization fees within a few days. But then the nurse shockingly reveals that they've received 1 yen in cash just a moment ago, so they'll be moving Aunt to the executive room instead. She even shows Wataru the full statement, almost giving him a stroke and a heart attack at the same time. The nurse then finally reveals that it was none other than Yudo who made the payment a while ago. Due to the hefty payment, the macho attendants decide to carry Aunt in their arms rather than simply guiding her away in a wheelchair. The aunt, who was gravely sick a while ago, suddenly looks revitalized as the 2 handsome men are holding her tightly. They even call her princess and rush out of there with her as if they have to catch a train. Soon after, the macho attendants take Aunt to her special room, strip off their shirts for no reason, and announce they will care for her around the clock. The old woman is now planning to get sick regularly so that she can be carried around by these sweaty men. Elsewhere, Wataru is still in disbelief over what just happened and asks Yudo to give him a small tap to make sure it is real. But Yudo ends up punching him hard in the stomach, warning him never to hide their aunt's illness from him again. Wataru apologizes for it, and Yudo promises to cover the old woman's medical bills for the rest of her life. Just then, the system pops up, announcing the mission is complete and a bonus skill named My Eyes Are a Ruler has been acquired. Yudo wonders what this strange skill could possibly do, but he's sure it will come in handy at some point in the future. Nearby in another room, a plump university student named Mika is tending to her sick dad. She asks if she should call her brother to look after him, but Dad says he'll be fine on his own. All of a sudden, he then announces that he wants to entrust his entire company's management to her. He even hands her the material for the ongoing project, saying if they can secure the contract, they can turn around the company's management. Since Mika is the best student at her university and she's a business major, he believes that she is capable of leading the company. A shocked Mika wonders if her dad is telling the truth or he's just having one of his mental episodes, but she agrees to look into it. Dad has one last request. He asks Mika not to mention any of this to his money-grabbing evil brother, and she agrees. Mika then bids her dad goodbye and decides to leave as she's almost late for class. Meanwhile, a cunning old lady and her goons are waiting for Mika in the hallway, knowing full well that she's the daughter of a rich businessman. As soon as Mika walks by, the old lady dramatically falls to the ground. She yells at Mika for pushing her, and even the goons join in, claiming that Mika deliberately tripped her. One of the thugs then grabs her and threatens to report it to her college if she doesn't compensate the woman. But just then, Yudo arrives at the scene with glowing eyes to defuse the commotion. A system notification reveals that since his gaze stayed in one place for a certain amount of time, the skill My Eyes Are a Ruler has been activated. The disgusting old woman is still on the floor, writhing in pain as if she got hit by a truck. Her over-the-top, Hollywood-level acting almost convinces Mika that she accidentally bumped into her. But Yudo, who has seen everything with his new skill, warns Mika that if she admits it, she'll fall right into their trap. Yudo accurately explains that when her body and the old woman's body were about 3 centimeters away from touching, the woman started falling on her own. He also points out that several people were strategically positioned around the room with cameras to record the incident. From every angle, it will appear as if Mika deliberately bumped into the lady and caused her to fall. Mika is perplexed how he even knows all of this, but Yudo casually says he's good at geometry and a whole lot of bluffing. He reveals that these are dangerous people who specialize in looting and tricking others. Upon hearing this, Mika confidently tells the wrinkly old woman that she didn't bump into her and make her fall. The woman warns that security cameras are everywhere, so she'll eventually be caught. Mika calmly agrees, but explains that normal cameras can't capture detailed footage in milliseconds. They'd need specialized software capable of analyzing video in slow motion down to 1,000th of a second. Mika adds that the software is extremely expensive, and if she's at fault, she'll cover all the costs. But if the old woman is found guilty, she'll have to pay the hefty software fees plus compensation for wasting their time. This freaks out the old woman, and she immediately bolts away from there along with her goons. The idiot Yudo then asks if there's really such incredible software, but Mika reveals that she just made it up on the spot. The two finally introduce each other, and Mika says she's in a bit of a rush right now, but he can come visit her at the university sometime. Yudo jokingly asks if she isn't suspicious of a shady person like him whom she just met, but Mika ignores his dumb question and walks away. Later that evening, Yudo spends his free time watching TikTok live streams, where 2 content creators are going head-to-head in a PK match. One hand is the luscious dancer Yukachi, who's overwhelmingly popular because of her curves, while on the other hand is nerdy game streamer Mourinho. Despite being a grown adult, Yudo becomes so invested in the stream that he forgets about everything else. Yukachi, meanwhile, is getting a lot of votes, and it is only a matter of time before she is crowned the winner. She suggests that as a punishment, Mourinho should probably play Need for Speed using just her feet. Yudo, who has no business interfering in their match, activates his special skill and quickly spots that Yukachi is cheating. He sends a message for everyone to see, pointing out that Yukachi's legs are unnaturally long. The proportions are all wrong, and even the nearby table appears distorted. Upon reading the comment, Yukachi becomes so furious that she shouts on the stream that she has had this body for years. Yudo tries to come with a counter, but she ends up blocking him before that. All the simps in the stream then begin supporting her, completely blinded by her round juggernauts. But Yudo is not going to give up, and he enters the stream once again through his second account. As the match nears its end, a desperate Marinian pleads with her fans to vote for her, promising to give them a twerking tutorial if she wins. Just then, Yudo gifts her 5 giant fairies, which sends both the women into a state of shock. It turns out a single giant fairy costs 1 yen, and it is the most expensive gift one can buy on TikTok. The entire stream goes crazy and starts chanting for Yudo instead, but the ungrateful Marinian simply replies with a thanks for the donation shout-out. Yukachi, meanwhile, still believes that she can turn this around and urges her fans to give her one final push. She then turns around and reveals her backside in order to motivate the simps even more. But all of a sudden, Yudo donates 10 more giant fairies to Marinian, instantly winning the game for her. He also buys the comment rights for the stream and smugly writes that blocking isn't going to help get rid of him. Realizing that he is a big shot, Yukachi immediately changes her attitude and bends over to woo him. But Yudo, who's now accomplished his mission, simply closes the stream and begins chatting with Marinian instead. She thanks him for his generous donation, but claims that she has nothing to offer in return, so she's willing to refund his entire amount. However, Yudo refuses to accept it, claiming it's not a big amount for him anyway. Marinian then says she wants to treat him to a meal, as that's the least she can do in return for his help. This leaves Yudo in deep thought, as he suspects the girl might be trying to get close to him because of his money. But since she's offering him a free meal, he eventually accepts and sends her his location. Meanwhile, Marinian is at her lavish home, where her mom is eagerly waiting for her to come out of her room. She is furious that her own daughter doesn't talk to her and spends most of her time twerking and playing Smash Bros in her room. Minutes later, Marinian finally comes out, explaining that streaming is her job and she's earning a good amount of money from it. She hugs her mom and tries to act all innocent, but mom tells her to stop streaming and do something productive instead. She even points to Marinian's necklace, revealing that it costs 43 yen, an amount that a lifetime of streaming couldn't even cover. But the spoiled girl responds that she isn't streaming for money, but to have some fun. She reveals that today she met someone very interesting, but mom rudely cuts her off and reminds her that there's going to be an arranged marriage soon. She asserts that Marinian will have to marry the son of a wealthy businessman, so it's better that she stays away from other weird men. Marinian pleads that she wants to keep playing games and twerk her entire life, but her fed-up mom simply gets up and leaves. Meanwhile, after hours of binging on TikTok, Yudo finally leaves the house to grab some dinner. He thinks of going to his favorite restaurant where they serve special grilled chicken with beer. But as soon as Yudo arrives there, he hears the owner desperately pleading with the landlady to hold off the rent for a little longer. The owner explains that sales have been down lately, and he just needs a few more days to manage the money. But the angry landlady, who seems to have inbuilt airbags, shouts that she won't wait a single day as she isn't running any charity show. When the owner continues begging, the landlady orders her thugs to ransack the place and take whatever they can. The terrified owner claims that his expensive grill cost him tens of yen, while the overdue rent is just 150 sen. One of the goons throws him to the ground, but before he can approach the counter, someone grabs his shoulder from behind. It turns out to be none other than Yudo, who uses his enhanced strength to prevent the thug from moving an inch. He then talks directly to the landlady and asks how much money she wants to leave the poor shop owner alone. But instead of giving an actual number, she begins ridiculing him for dressing up like a junkie. The landlady says that she set the rent very low out of kindness, but now they're taking advantage of her. She also explains that this place is going to undergo redevelopment as a commercial area soon, so she'll increase the rent. The restaurant owner reveals that she has been increasing the rent every 2 months anyway, but the furious landlady tells him to shut up. She then begins yapping about how she has 3 more stalls nearby, which can easily generate more than 10 yen a month. The landlady clearly tells the restaurant owner that she'll only allow him to stay if he pays 1 yen every month as rent. Just then, Yudo casually pulls out his phone and begins talking to bank manager Fujiwara regarding some important business. After hanging up, he coldly announces that he doesn't need to speak to anyone as he's just bought this place. The landlady thinks he's joking and asserts that the building is in her name, so she won't sell it for any amount of money. She then orders her men to immediately destroy the restaurant and eat all the grilled chicken. But Yudo heroically steps in and single-handedly beats up all the goons using his enhanced abilities. The terrified landlady threatens to call the police, but Yudo calmly reveals that she only has usage rights to the commercial property, while he has just purchased the land for the entire downtown area. He has completed the transaction without any documents, in the middle of the freaking night with the help of just his phone. As soon as Yudo finishes his pathetic speech, a bunch of construction workers arrive there with a bulldozer to wreck the place. The landlady, who's now freaking out, asks what he's trying to do, and Yudo says that if he wants, he can just flatten the whole area in no time. This will render her outlets useless, and no one will want to rent it anymore. Yen also claims that a few hundred yen is just chump change for him, so even if he destroys his own property, it won't affect him at all. Upon hearing this, the terrified woman realizes that she has messed with someone very powerful and immediately drops to her knees. She begs for forgiveness, claiming that the past few years, all her investments have failed and rent here has been her only source of support. Yudo tells her to do the right thing if she wants her stores intact, and the desperate woman promises to have the rent and even cancel all the water and electricity bills. Yudo agrees to the deal and the case is finally resolved. Minutes later, the system pops up with a notification, revealing that Yudo has earned a bonus named Mark of the Fool system. This skill warns him when someone nearby is trying to fool him. The system also assigns him with a new mission, where he has to set up a new company and fight against black corporations. After all that, Yudo finally gets to enjoy some delicious grilled chicken with a cold beer. The grateful owner tells him that tonight the place is reserved just for him, and he can eat as much as he wants for free. But Yudo insists on paying and even says he'll be coming here regularly for late-night meals. Shortly after, manager Yanagi also shows up at the restaurant, as it turns out Yudo had invited her for a meeting. She claims that despite being a literal billionaire, he's eating at such pathetic restaurants. But after having just one bite of the heavenly meat, she changes her mind and says this is even better than Yudo's meat. The two then sit down for a conversation, and it is revealed that Yudo invited her here as he wants her help to complete his next mission, which is to protect the gullible people. But then he starts smelling her, which makes him realize that she's also involved in multiple scams. Yudo starts smelling her even harder, making her really uncomfortable as they're in public. But she soon gets turned on and suggests that they get a room and have some romance. Yudo completely ignores what she said and reveals that he invited her here because he's thinking of starting a new company. He now needs her help with deciding where to set up the office and with the preparations of the company. Yanagi is quickly on board with the plan and even agrees to be his assistant, despite the fact that she's his manager. She inquires about more details, but Yudo says he hasn't decided on the specifics yet. He just says it will be an investment company, so he's looking for the best possible location for it. Inside his mind, Yudo thinks that if Yanagi gets in the way when he buys the headquarters building, and if he helps her out, then he might be eligible for a bonus. Yang-ai then tells him not to worry, reassuring him that she's with her current company for decades, so she has the experience and finding the perfect location won't be a problem to her. Yudo thanks her, but requests her not to waste more money, as things are going to get really expensive from now on. Shortly after, they finish eating and Yudo walks with Yanagi to her apartment. They share a kiss right in the middle of the street, and Yanagi abruptly asks if he's been cheating on her with other girls. Yudo, who's not even dating her at the moment, says he hasn't even touched another girl, but Yanagi claims she can smell someone's perfume on him. She then gets all thirsty once again and urges him to call her whenever he wants, and she'll make sure to give him a good time. Yudo agrees to it, and Yanagi forces him to come to her apartment right now. But as they're walking, Yudo senses someone tailing them from behind and immediately becomes alert. Yanagi, who's unaware of the stalker, tries to lead him away, but Yudo suddenly stops and says he's got explosive diarrhea. She refuses to believe him, but he claims that after eating a ton of grilled chicken, his bowels are running a 100-meter sprint without his permission. He even grabs his stomach and lets out some forced, stinky farts to convince her that he's telling the truth. Yudo says he'll have to go home right now or else things might get really messy. Yanagi reluctantly agrees, but she warns him that if he tries to cancel the next time, she will make him go 10 rounds back-to-back. After she walks away, Yudo tells the stalker to come out and face him like a man. To his surprise, not one but 3 shady-looking men with black suits emerge from the darkness, and their leader praises Yudo for his sharp observation skills. He then reveals that Yudo has angered someone really powerful, and he's going to regret this. The thugs quickly bring out some weapons and charge forward to attack Yudo. He manages to dodge some of them with his enhanced abilities, but quickly realizes that these thugs are really strong. Yudo tells them that it's all just a misunderstanding, and there's absolutely no need to resort to violence. He suggests that they discuss it out as gentlemen, and he's even willing to give them money if that's what they want. But the leader of the thugs tears the money with his knife, and once again makes it clear that Yudo has messed with the wrong person. He asserts that they're not after the money, and the only way to solve this is by unaliving Yudo. The thug then proceeds to attack Yudo like a ninja, but before he can make contact, someone taps his shoulder from behind. He turns around and is shocked to find a large group of people who clearly weren't there a while ago. The people think a movie's shoot is going on, and they're quite eager to work as extras for the fight scene. It turns out Yanagi was the one who led all these people here, and even pays them money to make the situation more convincing. The leader of the thugs is furious as he cannot attack Yudo in front of everyone, so he gathers his men and bolts away from there. After everyone leaves, Yudo wonders who those people were and who's behind them, but he becomes determined to find out the truth. Elsewhere at the local bank, a female teller named Natsuki arrives for her morning shift, still half asleep. She is the same teller who was responsible for depositing Yudo's large sum a few days ago. As soon as she enters the bank, she finds a group of important-looking men waiting for her. They immediately begin scolding her for looking half asleep and assert that a banker like her should always be alert and clean. One of them remarks that customers will never approach her looking so sleepy, while another complains that the younger generation nowadays lacks any sense of conviction. The poor girl simply stands there and listens to all their comments without even knowing who they are. Just then, bank manager Fujiwara shows up and introduces her to these men in cheap suits. They turn out to be big shots from the banking industry, and Natsuki becomes genuinely frightened, wondering why they're there. But instead of scolding her, Fujiwara defends her, telling the big shots that they shouldn't be causing a scene at the entrance. He urges them to wait in the VIP room and says he'll notify them if Yudo shows up. Upon hearing this, it finally dawns on Natsuki that these Muppets are here to meet Yudo, who has been causing waves ever since he deposited 100,000 yen in cash. One of the big shots says he's going to hold a training session for all the employees, and Fujiwara urges Natsuki to join as well, since she has recently been appointed assistant branch manager. Natsuki then bends down to them and seductively requests them to teach her well, but the men are more concerned about how a young girl like her has been appointed as the branch manager. They accuse Fujiwara of abusing his power to promote dumb bimbos like Natsuki into higher positions, but Fujiwara makes it clear that he only promotes people based on their work ethic. Just then, Natsuki receives a call from her favorite client, Yudo, who wants to deposit 597 yen urgently. The big shots are left completely stunned as no one despots that kind of money, not even the cartel leaders. Fujiwara then lets out a sinister smile and finally reveals that this is the very reason he has promoted her as the assistant bank manager. The men in suits immediately change their attitude upon hearing this and start praising Natsuki as she's some Greek goddess. They claim that she's the best banker they've ever seen and a true role model for others. A few hours later, Natsuki arrives at Yudo's home huffing and puffing to collect the cash personally. He gives her some water and asks what happened, to which Natsuki reveals that the top bankers had been following her everywhere, desperate to meet Yudo, so she had to switch buses 3 times just to finally lose them. Yudo is surprised that he has become so popular due to a single deposit, but he knows that the 3 thugs from yesterday aren't connected to any big figures in the financial world. He wonders if they're after him due to the big donations he made on the live stream. Just then, he gets a text from Mourinho, who has arranged for their meeting at a posh restaurant by the seaside. Yudo knows that she comes from a wealthy family, so he decides to use her help in finding out who those thugs really are. That evening, he reaches the upscale restaurant where an employee asks if he has a reservation. This leaves Yudo in a difficult spot as the reservation was made by Mourinho, but he doesn't know her real name. The employee quickly understands the situation and decides to show him the available seat, but just then, the restaurant's manager shows up and shouts at him for talking to strangers. After the poor employee leaves, the manager turns to Yudo and urges him to bugger off before he calls the security. He is convinced that a man dressed like a construction worker has no business dining in such a lavish restaurant. Yudo doesn't say anything. He simply calls Mourinho on the phone and urges her to come to the lobby as soon as possible. Seconds later, she arrives and greets Yudo respectfully, addressing him as sir in front of everyone. The stunned manager asks if the homeless-looking guy is with her, and Mourinho confirms it. This leaves the arrogant manager looking like a donkey, and he quickly apologizes for being rude earlier. He then leads the two to their reserved table, which turns out to be the most fancy one in the entire restaurant. Mourinho has even placed some exotic lilies on the table for God knows what reason, but Yudo doesn't care about any of that because it's his first time in such an expensive place. The manager then personally takes their order, and Mourinho says she would like to have the usual. He then asks Yudo, but the latter doesn't know any fancy cuisines, so he simply says he'll have what she's having. This makes the manager realize that Yudo is indeed a poor guy who's just hanging around with a rich girl. He then asks if they'd like to have some drinks as well. Mourinho orders some wine, but Yudo once again makes himself look like a goofball by asking if they have Pepsi. The startled manager reveals that they don't serve carbonated drinks here, but he agrees to fetch a bottle for him anyway. As he leaves their table, he mumbles that Marion's toy is acting all high and mighty as he owns the goddamn place. The manager also notices another cheaply dressed customer sitting on a table, which makes him wonder what happened to all the high-quality people today. Meanwhile, the cheaply dressed guy named Shouta turns out to be a fraud who's come here with his equally pathetic girlfriend to scam people. He looks around the restaurant for rich people and immediately sets his sights on Mourinho. Shouta urges his girlfriend to go and show her magic, just like she always does. On the other hand, Mourinho has ordered some exotic crab for dinner, but she heads to the washroom to freshen up first. As soon as she leaves, the fraud woman approaches Yudo and praises his choice of cuisine. She begins staring at the food like a hungry dog and describes how it is thick, juicy, and full of nutrients. The woman then abruptly asks if she can have a bite too, taking Yudo by complete surprise. However, despite having all the money in the world, Yudo refuses to give her a single bit and instead calls her a beggar. He then starts eating the crab with his own hands like a barbarian. The annoyed woman starts to walk away, but Yudo's elbow accidentally brushes against her backside. This fills her with rage, and she angrily accuses him of harassment, even though Yudo has no idea what just happened. He denies touching her, but the stubborn woman calls him a predator who preys on vulnerable women. She tries to splash water on him, but he ducks, and the water hits a wealthy old man nearby, blowing off his wig. Just then, Mourinho finally returns after her adventures in the washroom and confronts the disrespectful lady. She warns her to stop making false accusations against her friend and tells her to apologize right now. The fraud lady shouts back that it was Yudo who touched her, so he should be the one apologizing in the first place. As the argument intensifies, the restaurant manager decides to check the CCTV footage to determine who's really at fault. He soon returns with the conclusion that although Yudo touched her, it was the woman who deliberately pushed her gigantic rear onto him. The woman says he's lying, but the manager reveals that he carefully zoomed in on her backside to make sure he caught the entire thing. When the stubborn woman still refuses to apologize, Mourinho urges the manager to notify all the upscale restaurants in the area about this woman's suspected blackmail attempts. This way, she won't be allowed entry into any of the restaurants, and her notorious schemes will come to an end. The manager, who's basically Mourinho's lapdog, immediately goes along with her demand. Upon witnessing this, the woman finally starts to get nervous, and she wonders who these people really are. Mourinho, on the other hand, is still not satisfied, so she snaps a picture of the woman and decides to upload it on social media for awareness. She says she's doing this for Yudo, as he had also helped her when she was in a similarly tough situation. This terrifies the woman, and she realizes that if she gets banned from all the restaurants, she'll go broke since scamming diners is her daily bread and butter. Just as Mourinho is about to upload the picture to her social media, Shouta shows up and claims that the woman is his friend who's had too much to drink. He explains that she's just talking under the influence and urges Mourinho to forgive her and not report the incident. Shouta says that as an act of apology, he will pay for their expensive meals. He also orders the woman to apologize to them right now, and she obediently bends over to ask for forgiveness. Once the situation is resolved and the woman leaves, Mourinho asks Shouta who he is, since she's seeing him for the first time there. He introduces himself and claims that he doesn't really come around here as he's from the southern part of the city. An excited Mourinho then asks Yudo if he wants the man to cover their bill, but he responds that he doesn't care as long as he gets to eat for free. Mourinho looks over to Shouta and asks if they can order anything, to which he gladly says yes. Shouta then goes back to his seat and mutters to himself that their initial plan has failed, but there's still room for adjustment. He knows that Marion will eventually choose a rich guy like him who's willing to give her whatever she wants over a miserable loser like Yudo, who has to save up several months' worth of his wages to afford his place. Shouta cunningly calculates that she will switch to him by tonight, and even if she's shy, a few rounds of this game will do the trick. He has used this same trick to lure hundreds of rich women, and it has never failed him. But as he's busy planning scenarios in his mind, Mourinho and Yudo finish up and decide to take a walk around the city. This shocks the fraud as he was expecting her to come to him and at least thank him for paying for their meal. He quickly intercepts Mourinho and urges her to come with him instead, but she flat out refuses, saying she doesn't hang out with men who look like a Pokémon trainer. A desperate Shouta asks for her number at least, but she angrily refuses that too. Just then, the waiter shows up with the bill, and Shouta is horrified to learn that he'll have to cough up 3 rin and 20 sen. Seeing his expression, which looks like someone just farted on his face, Mourinho reveals that she knew he was a fraud the moment she noticed him. She is well aware of people like him who use women to extract money from men and hit on every single girl they see. Mourinho knows that he doesn't have a single ounce in his pocket, so she offers to pay for the bill but only if he apologizes. Her words pierce through Shouta's fragile ego and he jumps forward to slap her, but Yudo intervenes in the nick of time. He squeezes the fraud's hand and asks if he was actually going to hit a woman. Shouta, who's now sweating like a diabetic patient, questions if Yudo is part of any group, but the latter denies it. Shouta then comes to the conclusion that Yudo is acting all-powerful because he's the leader of this area. Shouta dares him to come to the Southern District, saying he'll treat him really well there. Yudo wants to punch his ugly face, but Mourinyan stops him and insists they leave the place to avoid creating any more drama. Shortly after, as the two exit the restaurant, they are approached by one of the hot-shot bankers from earlier, who turns out to be Mourinyan's uncle. Yudo also recognizes him as the president of the development bank and wonders why he's here. The man quickly introduces himself, saying it's an honor to finally meet Yudo. Before he can continue, the other two big-shot bankers also arrive and start pestering Yudo, demanding a minute of his time. Yudo realizes that all three are desperate for his investment, so he sets a condition. He declares that whoever can identify the people who attacked him will earn his trust, and he will invest in their bank. Hearing this, all three men are delighted, confident they can find the culprits. After they leave, Mourinyan apologizes to Yudo as it was due to her social media post that his identity got exposed. She asks if she should temporarily delete her account, but Yudo says he doesn't mind. Just then, another guy shows up, and he turns out to be none other than the fraud from earlier, Shouta. He has brought along two malnourished-looking thugs with him, seemingly to beat up Yudo. Shouta had previously warned Yudo that he'd treat him well, but all of a sudden, he brings out a can of coconut milk and begins drinking it. With a wide smile on his face, he says that the South District is famous for coconut milk, so everyone should try it once in their lifetime. Shouta then gets down on his knees and grabs Yudo's leg like a desperate girlfriend, saying he misjudged him the last time. He knows that Yudo is looking for some thugs, so he offers to help him out. Shouta claims that, being a seasoned thug himself, he's pretty knowledgeable about the underground scene, so it shouldn't take him long to find out who the culprit is. Yudo, who has nothing to lose, decides to give him a chance and then tells him to stop humping his leg. Shortly after, the owner of the restaurant also arrives and hands Yudo their VIP card. He asks if the food was delicious and if the service was good, to which Yudo responds that there wasn't anything particularly bad. But then he sarcastically thanks the manager who went out of his way to teach him that rich people drink wine and the poor ones chug soda. Upon hearing this, the owner realizes that the manager was rude to Yudo, so he immediately fires him on the spot. Elsewhere at the university, Saki bids farewell to her favorite senior, who happens to be none other than Mika. On her way back to her dorm, she happily recalls how the most intelligent student in the entire university, Mika, had patiently taught her everything she had been confused about. Saki mentions that if she were a boy, she would no doubt fall in love with Mika. Shortly after, she reaches her dorm where she finds her three roommates waiting for her. They are silently discussing that they can easily take on her without causing any noise. Saki is shocked when she notices her books in the trash can and asks who's responsible for this. One of the girls, who looks like a rentable girlfriend, says she saw those books lying around and simply chucked them in the trash to keep the room clean. Saki also notices that her bed is completely soaked with water, and another girl, who has airbags bigger than her head, claims that she accidentally spilled it. The three girls then stare at Saki and menacingly ask if she has a problem with it. The following day, an angry Yudo barges into the principal's office, where Saki and the three girls are also present. He asks the principal if his sister was bullied, but Saki tells him that she's fine. The three girls appear to be really anxious, and Yudo tells his sister not to worry as he's here now. The principal, meanwhile, says that a bullying incident took place last night at the dormitory, which is why Yudo has been summoned here. He angrily states that this case of bullying is quite severe, and leaving it unaddressed would only worsen the situation, so he wants them to handle the matter as soon as possible. The insanely massive principal reveals that they are indeed trying to solve the matter. That's why Yudo has been summoned here. She then shockingly asks Saki about why she bullied the poor girls in her dorm last night. Yudo is stunned to learn that it was his sister who did the bullying while the girls were just the victims. He refuses to believe it, but then the three girls break down in tears, claiming that they had never been spanked so hard in their lives. One of them even says that she doesn't want to come to university as long as that bully is around. A flashback shows that when the three girls tried to intimidate Saki, she grew so furious that she started beating the hell out of them. She ripped off the first girl's wig, covered the second one in a blanket and body-slammed her, and then punched the third one hard in the face. As the three girls laid on the ground, crying their eyes out, Saki coldly claimed that the women in her family are strong. In the present, Yudo is generally pleased that his sister was able to take down the bullies all by herself. He recalls that she has always been a wild one, and her massive thighs alone are enough to suffocate enemies. Yudo still thinks it's strange because his sister would never attack anyone without getting provoked first. But the principal reveals the three girls have given consistent testimonies, and Saki has herself admitted to her actions. She now wants Saki to apologize so that they can all get past this quickly. But the girls assert that they're not letting this incident slide with just an apology. Realizing that what they really want is something expensive, Yudo quickly comes up with a plan. He orders a pile of mobile phones, designer bags, and other lavish items, which instantly makes the girls light up with happiness. But he suddenly drops everything to the floor, saying gold diggers like them don't deserve it. Yudo then glares at them like a psychopath and demands to know why they tried to bully his sister. He's certain that Saki would never have retaliated if they hadn't provoked her first. When none of the girls respond, Yudo warns them that if he uncovers the truth first, he will make their lives at the university a living hell. This finally scares the bullies, and they anxiously reveal that they didn't have any problem with Saki, but a random male student from the same department paid them to harass her. They admit that his name is Yamada and display one of his photos in which he looks like a delivery boy. Later, Yudo moves his sister to a separate dormitory as he believes the previous one is too dangerous for her. Saki thanks him for his help and then decides to explore the apartment a bit in hopes of finding some friends. Nearby in another dorm, Mika is crawling like a dog, trying to check the water pipes for any blockage. Just when she's about to call the landlord for help, she spots Saki walking through the corridor. She quickly calls out to her, and the two are surprised to learn that they'll be neighbors from now on. Mika complains that water isn't running from her taps, so she hasn't been able to defecate and shower for days. Saki confidently says that she'll be able to solve the problem as she's good at handling pipes. Unlike a real plumber, she then bends down in a twerking position and starts repairing the pipes while Mika watches her in confusion. This is when Yudo also shows up, and he's genuinely confused about what's going on here. Mika immediately recognizes him as the guy who saved her at the hospital a few days ago, but since he's trespassing in the women's dormitory, she threatens to report him to the authorities. Yudo clarifies that his sister lives here, so he's just helping her out with the move-in process. Just then, he receives a system notification which reveals that the person in front of him, Mika, is about to be taken advantage of by a malicious individual, so his mission is to save her. Meanwhile, Saki finishes fixing the pipe and is surprised to learn that the two of them have already met. Mika thanks her for the repair and goes to check the tap, but as soon as she rotates the knob, the pipe breaks again and she's soaked in water from top to bottom. Once the siblings are back to their own dorm, Yudo goes into a deep thought as he doesn't understand how, when, and where to save Mika. The system simply told him that she's in trouble and nothing else. He explains the whole situation to his sister, and seeing how worried he is, she decides to help. Saki promises that she will do whatever it takes to gather information about Mika's personal life. A while later, she meets Mika again, who has finally repaired the pipe and is now looking cheerful. Saki apologizes for messing up earlier and suggests that they go out to have lunch. Mika is immediately on board and mentions that a new diner has opened nearby that serves awful food but has great aesthetics, perfect for taking lots of Instagram photos. As the two discuss in excitement, Yudo creepily stalks them from a corner like a serial murderer. He then decides to finally go after the guy named Yamada, who had paid the girls to harass his sister. A while later, Yudo reaches a race circuit where Yamada is about to take part in a competition. A security guard stops him, saying only the members with sports cars are allowed inside, but Yudo is not going to take no for an answer. He scans the area and quickly spots an old scooter, which belongs to the security guard. Yudo decides to take part in the competition with that piece of junk and even hands the guard a large stack of cash for it. At the racetrack, Yamada shows off his new sports car to his friend, Fuji, bragging that it even has an inbuilt chick magnet hidden somewhere. He also reveals that he got it modified to make it an automatic transmission with a turbocharger. Yamada says that he's invested a huge amount of his parents' money into the car and is determined to win his first race today. Just then, Yudo comes speeding on his old scooter, leaps right in front of the boys and crash lands on the expensive sports car. Yamada almost faints at the sight of his new car being wrecked by this ugly loser on a cheap scooter. He begins crying as he reveals that he hadn't even driven it once before today. Yudo casually parks his scooter and says that he is willing to compensate for the damages, but before that, he wants to settle the matter of Yamada bullying his sister. He then grabs the arrogant brat by his shirt and demands to know why he sent the girls after Saki. Yamada reveals that because of Yudo's actions, his best friend, the rowdy guy from the airport, was forced to leave the country. Now proposes that they settle their differences with a race right now. Yamada raises the stakes, declaring that if he wins, Yudo must kneel, apologize, and fix his car. But if he loses, Yamada will kneel and apologize to Saki instead. Yudo agrees to it, and Yamada asks if he has a sports car to participate in the race, but Yudo shockingly declares that he'll race using that rusty old motorcycle. Yamada finds the idea absolutely crazy, but since it plays to his advantage, he happily agrees. Soon after, the race begins, and Yudo finds himself competing against 3 men in their powerful sports cars. Yamada immediately takes the lead with his brand new car, but instead of focusing solely on the race, he starts taunting Yudo, who is far behind at the moment. Meanwhile, Yudo knows that it's impossible to win the race with this ancient scooter, so he decides to do some cheating. He calls his men and orders them to proceed with the plan right now. Immediately afterwards, a bunch of choppers fly overhead and drop several metal spikes on the ground. 2 of the cars run over the spikes and their tires are immediately punctured, while Yamada spots them in the nick of time. As he tries to cross them carefully, Yudo speeds past him in his scooter without a care in the world. It turns out that after working as a delivery boy for years, he has learned how to avoid obstacles and ride like a complete jerk. Yamada, who's desperate to claim the win, slams his foot on the gas pedal and pushes his car to the absolute limit. There's a dangerously narrow curve coming up, and Yudo gets worried that they both will end up falling off. Right at the last second, Yamada slams the brakes and manages to stop his car, but there's no sign of Yudo anywhere. Seconds later, he appears dangling from a helicopter, revealing that he cheated his way to victory. Yamada doesn't even protest, and he accepts his defeat, after which Yudo pulls out his phone to record the apology video. He urges Yamada to get down on his knees like he had promised. The arrogant brat requests him to not punish him like this, but Yudo is hell-bent on recording some content for his new TikTok channel. Just then, Fuji shows up in his expensive tuxedo and claims that he was the one who won the race, so Yamada doesn't deserve any punishment. But Yudo completely ignores him and warns the kid that if he doesn't kneel down and apologize, he will shove the entire scooter up his fart tunnel. A scared Yamada claims that even his parents never laid a finger on him, but suddenly, Mika shows up and slaps him right across the face. She angrily shouts that if their parents won't discipline him, then she will have to do it as his sister. Yudo freezes in shock when he realizes that the 2 are actually siblings. Mika questions her brother if their parents sent him to university just to chase after girls, drive recklessly, and bully classmates. She expresses her disappointment in him and announces that she's going to have his credit card frozen so that he can take time to reflect on what he's done. Upon hearing this, the desperate brother immediately drops to his knees and begs her not to freeze his card, as that would cancel his Netflix subscription. Saki, who has also arrived, explains that while she was having lunch with Mika, she told her about the bullying, which angered Mika so much that she came here personally to teach her brother a lesson. Saki then asks what Yudo is doing here, but he doesn't respond and simply stands there with his hands inside his pockets. Meanwhile, Fuji tells Yamada to properly apologize so that they can get this over with and head home. Despite nobody asking about him, he introduces himself and reveals that he's from the Southern District, which is filled with jerks like him. Fuji says he cares a great deal about his reputation, and since Yamada is his friend, he wants to solve the matter as soon as possible. However, Yudo completely ignores him and instead smacks the sports car again, breaking its tail lights and causing more damage. He then approaches the desperate Yamada, who's already on his knees, and orders him to bow to his sister right now or else he'll make him bow. Yamada tries to ask his sister for help, but she urges him to take responsibility for his own actions. Left with no choice, Yamada finally bows down in front of Saki and apologizes for sending those girls to harass her. But Yudo is still not done and tells the kid to apologize a bit louder as he can't hear it. Seeing his friend getting utterly humiliated, Fuji gets angry and vows to take revenge on this new guy. Saki, meanwhile, accepts the apology and suggests they all go home as she plans to go to the supermarket tomorrow to buy some rubber. Mika mentions that there are some department stores in the area which sell clothes at a cheap rate. Saki excitedly thinks that since she and Mika are of the same height and shape, they can share clothes all the time. But Yudo reads his sister's thoughts and jokingly says that they aren't the same size as Mika has bigger airbags. Both the women don't understand what he's trying to say, but Yudo claims that he was joking and quickly changes the topic. After everyone finishes up with their corny conversations, Yamada urges his sister to get inside Fuji's car so that they can go home together. He says that it's already dark and the mountain roads are dangerous, so it's best if she comes with them. But Mika makes it very clear that she's not fond of riding sports cars and would rather walk all the way down to her dorm. Fuji asserts that it might be a sports car, but the seats are very comfortable. Plus, it's very risky to go down the mountain on that stupid scooter, which might come apart at any given minute. Fuji also questions how Yudo would be able to carry not one but 2 curvy women on his scooter. Before anyone can answer, a car suddenly pulls up, and out comes an ugly guy who's none other than Shouta. Fuji immediately recognizes him and asks what he's doing here at this time. Instead of answering that like a normal human being, Shouta rants about how his car may be average, but he's worked really hard to earn it. Fuji responds that without his family's support, he wouldn't be able to buy even a pair of socks. Shaoda once again ignores his comment and instead approaches Yudo and the others. He suggests that they all head home in his car while blasting Metallica songs at maximum volume. Saki is a bit skeptical about the guy as he looks like a crackhead and fears that he might kidnap them, but Yudo tells her not to worry. Seconds later, Yudo and the girls get inside the car and Shaoda drives them away from there. Once they are out of sight, Yamada tells his friend that he tried everything in his power but still couldn't get the job done. It turns out that Fuji has a massive crush on Mika, but he hasn't been able to get anywhere near her. He then changes the topic and asks Yamada if he knows anything about his family's company. The kid says he knows nothing, but his sister might, as she's always discussing stuff with her dad. Fuji knows that the family business is being handed over to Mika, so he warns Yamada that things could get really messy. He then questions Yamada how it would feel to live the rest of his life in his sister's shadow. Inside the car, Yudo asks Shaoda if that tuxedo-wearing guy is an acquaintance of his. Shaoda reveals that Fuji is the second son of one of the wealthiest families in the Southern District, but he's considered a disgrace because of his wild spending habits. A curious Yudo wants to hear the entire story, so Shaoda reveals that they both attended the same school, where Fuji topped every class and excelled in every form of sports. He could play the piano, he was good at science experiments, and he even had an affair with the hottest senior in school. Basically, Fuji was the picture-perfect kid whom everyone admired. Yudo doesn't understand what's wrong with that, so Shaoda reveals that he grew up constantly being compared to Fuji, and that made his life hell. Meanwhile, Mika asks Shaoda to pull over, explaining that her dorm is close by, and she can walk the rest of the way on her own. Yudo points out that the dorm is still about a kilometer away, which makes his sister explain that Mika is the type of perfect student who avoids being seen with a boy, and that's why she insists on walking alone. Saki then hops out of the car and decides to join Mika so they can gossip about their favorite K-pop idols. Once they are alone, Shaoda tells Yudo that he's lucky to have two baddies as his girlfriend. He's jealous at how Yudo is dating both Marinyan and Mika, but Yudo clarifies that they're just friends and nothing else. Shaoda then gets straight to the point and reveals that he and his team have managed to track down the three thugs and have them cornered. He says that if Yudo gives him the orders, he can immediately make the thugs spill the beans about who gave them the instructions. Upon hearing this, Yudo freaks out and says he doesn't want to cause any trouble which will involve the police, but Shaoda reassures him that none of that will happen. Shortly after, they arrive at a shady place where some beautiful escorts are waiting for potential customers. They immediately swarm Shaoda's average car and ask for his contact information so that they can hang out later. Shaoda responds that he definitely wants to do dirty things to them, but first he'll have to handle some business. The two men then enter the building, which turns out to be a secret nightclub where average men like Shaoda hang out. Hundreds of curvy ladies are dancing on the floor to some Justin Bieber songs, which makes the situation even scarier. Shaoda then reveals that the guy they are looking for is in the other room, and he's been there for the past 4 days. Shaoda then proudly boasts that everyone here is under his thumb, so all the information comes directly to him. Seconds later, an employee approaches them and asks if they want anything, to which Yudo shockingly responds that he wants security cameras installed in the other room. The employee thinks he's joking, as in this secret club, privacy is the topmost priority to make sure the cops are never involved. But Yudo whips out 1 yen and says he's willing to pay him this if he gets the job done. When the employee still hesitates, Yudo brings out 4 more coins, which takes the total sum to 5 yen. This finally convinces the employee, and he promises to install high-quality cameras in every part of the room. After a while, the whole setup is completed, and now all Yudo will have to do is wait. He then listens closely as the man in the other room is talking to his escorts while having fun with them. The man reveals that just a few days ago, he sent some scammers into a hospital to trap a college girl. The information shocks Yudo, but he's finally getting close to finding the person who wants to harm Mika. "What do you mean by making things hard?" the girl asked him nervously. "Isn't it to woo her? Why make it difficult for her?" The man with the scar curled his lips. "Come closer, I'll tell you." He leaned in toward the girl and went on, "My boss not only wants to play the hero saving the damsel, he also enjoys watching people at their most miserable." Frightened by his words and expression, the girl broke into a cold sweat as he continued, "Think it through. First, ruin the school beauty's reputation. When she's most desperate, the boss appears. If it were you, wouldn't you be moved? After that, whatever he says goes." Images forbidden to those under 18 flashed in her mind. The girl blurted anxiously, "Thinking like that, your boss really is a pervert. That beauty must be suffering now, right?" The scarred man scowled in irritation. "Nothing happened. The plan got wrecked by a fool. I wanted to teach him a lesson, but he got lucky and slipped away." Yuan had been watching their exchange. He rubbed his chin, recalling what the guy said. "If you like sticking your nose into others' business, don't blame me for schooling you." Yuan mused, "So that's it. No wonder he came at me in the room." The girl still pressed, "Who is your boss?" The scarred man shot back, "Do you think I'd tell you? Anyway, just steer clear of him in the future." Right then, a subordinate burst through the door. "Brother, we've got a hotel, meet later." It's probably time to prepare for Miss Sue's birthday party, right? The scarred man ground his teeth. Yeah, move it. If a delay messes with the boss's plan, we're dead. Observing from the other side, Yuan suddenly muttered, if I'm not mistaken, behind that scar is Bunnin. Bang flew into a rage at this. If it's really that brat, I'll make him suffer more than a risless dude looking for a prom partner, daring to compete with my brother. Let's see if he's worthy. Seeing his anger, Yuan could only yield. All right, up to you. He turned to ask Bang, I'm heading out, you staying? Bang winked, smiling. Of course, tons of pretty girls out there waiting for me. Before he could finish, he suddenly looked awkward and changed his tune. No, I mean I need to wait a bit. Yuan stood and left, only saying, ping me if there's any news. Passing by the beauties, Yuan pondered. Even so, Sumuyu was only targeted. She can't be called a major victim. He wondered, does he have another aim? Just then, the system announced, detected the aura of a great victimizer. It added, resolve the major victim within the time limit to receive a random reward. Hearing this, Yuan scanned around, searching for the target. Old Wung and his lackeys showed up, eyeing the provocatively dressed girl before them and laughing. You actually came, he said. You look gorgeous in this getup. Am I right, Teacher John? Seeing Old Wung reaching for her, Teacher John quickly dodged. Blushing, she said, you said if I wear this, I get a 3-month extension. Old Wung roared with laughter. Teacher John, you're hilarious. Wear black stockings and shave 100,000 off the debt. Is there such a good thing in this world? Old Wung's man came closer to tease Teacher John. Girl, if that were true, would it be your turn? Then take them off for me. I'll wear them every day. Teacher John said anxiously. You clearly agreed. Old Wung soothed her. Don't be hasty. Aren't we here to discuss? Then he pointed at a nearby pole. Teacher John, how about this? Go up and dance a bit. Not long, just 5 minutes. Before Teacher John could refuse, he set the term. Dance 5 minutes and I'll extend your loan another 3 months. Teacher John blushed. But I don't know how to dance. Old Wung waved it off. Does it matter? We just need your attitude. He stepped forward, patting her shoulder, coaxing. Teacher John, you wouldn't want to default on an online loan and have school leaders and classmates see it, right? With no other choice, Teacher John trembled and agreed. Fine, you said it, so don't go back on your word. Old Wung laughed triumphantly. Relax, just like that. Under many men's stares, Teacher John blushed, stepped onto the stage, and hugged the pole. Old Wung watched her there, thinking, those with stable jobs will pay back eventually. Darker thoughts crept in. The key is there's still something to play with. After she finishes with the video in hand, won't I control her at will? He looked extremely pleased with his filthy notions. Didn't expect that in desperation this line of work would give me a chance to rise again. In his memory, he had once begged someone, don't, Yukian, please give me another chance. Remembering that moment, he seethed. That Jo Yuya, when I had nothing, she ran. Didn't expect this, did you? This old man can still make a comeback. Back on the stage, just as Teacher John was about to dance with the pole, Yuan suddenly appeared and stopped her. Teacher John, don't be fooled. Surprised to see him here, she gasped. Yuan. Yuan told her, I overheard the next room. Believe me, those 2 scumbags won't let you go. They'll definitely use this to threaten you. Old Wung, seeing his good deed cut off, charged forward in fury and shouted, damn it, who are you? What are you doing here? Yuan turned, eyes cold. Forgot who I am? Need a reminder. Sensing Yuan's aura, Old Wung flinched, but quickly put on a brave face. Debts must be repaid. That's the law of heaven and earth. What do you want? Yuan sneered. A loan should be repaid. Old Wung cursed inwardly. Damn, this unlucky guy again. Is he going to mess with my business again? Yuan turned to remind her, Teacher John, I have to tell you something. As he spoke, their faces paled. If you have proof that the online lending group is charging usurious rates and threatening violent collections, you only need to repay the principal. Teacher John's eyes filled with tears, gratitude on her face. Really? Old Wung's underling cut in, yelling, what? Only the principal. The contract is black and white. Old Wung barked, cutting him off. Not another word. Yuan warned the old fox before him. If I find you still scamming or using loans to defraud, that's a whole different matter. He applied psychological pressure. I recall the bank refused you credit, right? Where did you get the principal from, or should I have someone look into it? Old Wung faltered, mumbling, at least the principal amount. Seeing Old Wung trying to salvage a bit, Yuan gave him a meaningful glance. Receiving that look, Old Wung and his accomplice instantly hit the button to vanish on the spot. I'm not taking the money anymore. Don't contact me, he panicked, making his accomplice panic too. Brother Wung, wait for me, Brother Wung. Afterward, Yuan and Teacher John left together. She stammered, Lending's brother, thank you this time. Seeing her shyness, he introduced himself. My name is Yan. Teacher John then explained her situation. I'm sorry, my father was in a traffic accident and urgently needed money. I truly had no alternative, but he pressed no further, only offering her advice. Be more careful in the future. With this kind of person, the more you comply, the more they'll push. Teacher John admitted earnestly, I always warn students not to touch online loans. I usually know better. The beauty blushed, blaming herself. Yet when it happened to me, I couldn't stay calm. I'm such a failure. Yuan said nothing more, only comforting her. All right, don't blame yourself too much. It's so late, I'll call a fake taxi to take you back to school. For some reason, Teacher John stopped him. I can't go back to school. She looked down at herself and explained, it's not appropriate for me to return in the middle of the night dressed like this. He suggested another way, then stay at a hotel. Teacher John hesitantly agreed. Late at night, the two headed to a nearby hotel. They walked in slowly through the quiet lobby. Upon entering, Yuan asked the receptionist, "Please get me a room." The hotel staff quickly got to work. "Yes, please wait a moment." Nearby, a girl kept yawning. She had noticed Yuan and teacher John. He told her, "Go on up, I'm heading out." She chirped, "Thank you, brother." Hearing that, Yan was startled and confused. Teacher John realized she had misspoken, thinking awkwardly, "I meant to call him Lin Ning's friend. Why did I say that?" Meanwhile, the girl beside Zio kept calling for her. Zio asked, "What's wrong, manager?" She showed Zio something on her phone. "Look, is it this person?" After a moment, Zio froze when she recognized him, then exclaimed as she glanced at Yuan, "That's right." The manager whispered something tense and pale. She panicked. "What should I do?" He turned and urged, "Are you not done yet?" The manager gently moved Zio aside to deal with him. She stammered, "I'm sorry. The standard room you booked is full. Currently, we only have a themed super room left. We can upgrade you for free. Is that okay?" Meanwhile, Zio seized the chance to slip away like a superhero. Teacher John wondered, "There are such things? You won't charge any hidden fees, will you?" The manager reassured, "Don't worry. Our hotel would never do anything that lowers our dignity. If you're not at ease, I can take you to see the room." Yuan, impatient, decided to follow. "Then let's see." She showed them the way. "Please come this way." A couple was also walking toward them nearby. The nightclub employee acted coquettishly beside Bihang. "I wonder if we can buy candles here. What do you think, young master?" He looked toward Yuan and instantly recognized him. "Isn't that big brother?" On Yuan's side, they were led to an elevator to go to the room. The manager introduced, "This is the dedicated elevator for the themed super room. You can go straight up." Seeing the Daker, both were surprised. Yuan asked incredulously, "Are you serious with this theme?" The manager assured, "Don't worry. All the amenities here, including the waterbed, hanging rings, and double bathtub, are free for you to use." Teacher John wandered around, and as she opened a curtain, she cried out in fright. Yuan noticed and asked, "What's wrong?" Inside were playful toys for those seeking a night that might end in back pain. Both of them froze for 5 seconds. Teacher John, panicking, wanted clarification. The manager reassured, "Don't worry. These items are all disposable, completely safe and clean. If you're satisfied, you can take the whole set home at no extra charge." At this point, his face was as red as a tomato. "Is that important?" She made an excuse to leave. "Then I won't bother you any longer. If you need anything, feel free to contact me anytime." The manager quickly left. Yuan awkwardly looked at Teacher John. Then the tough young man decided to leave instead of indulging. "I'm heading out too. You can stay here and manage the night yourself. It's not easy." A moment later, she touched his hand, wanting to say something. Teacher John shyly spoke from the heart. "Yuan, there's something I must tell you." Seeing that expression made him question life. "Go ahead, Teacher John, tell me." Still blushing, she spoke in self-reproach. "I want to apologize about Lin Ning's incident in the dormitory. I only found out later that someone was behind her." She explained further, "As a teacher, I should have realized sooner and clarified the truth. I didn't care enough or understand my students well. I apologize to both of you." Yuan was relieved. "So it's that." Then he comforted her, "Teacher John, I've already dealt with that bully. As for Lin Ning, I've arranged for her to move to a single apartment." "Don't worry, Teacher John." She awkwardly asked further, "Can you tell me Lin Ning's current address? I'll also talk to her privately about this." He smiled and agreed. "No problem." The scene shifted to another spot. At the elevator, Yuan was standing there when he saw someone approaching. It was Bihang. He greeted him warmly. "Brother, finally found your weakness." Yuan laughed scornfully and asked, "Why are you here?" He grinned smugly. "I saw you bring a girl up." He smirked. "Timing isn't great, huh? Want me to get you a tonic?" But Yuan ignored him, turned around, and tossed a line. "I just met my sister's acquaintance to make sure she's safe and resting." Bihang still wouldn't give up and poked. "I get it, gentleman in the morning, little darling at midnight." Right then, the manager came to Yuan and hesitantly called, "Sir." She asked anxiously, "Are you leaving? Are you dissatisfied with our preparations?" However, Yuan just coldly replied, "I didn't say I was staying here, did I? Is there a problem?" The manager grew even more worried and replied, "So your sudden inspection came too quickly. If there's anything unsatisfactory, please let me know. The entire hotel will try to fix it immediately." Hearing this, Bihang was even more dumbfounded. "A surprise inspection?" In contrast, the female manager's face drained of color and she replied, "Yes, weren't you here for an inspection?" Yuan approached and continued to ask, "Why would I be inspecting?" The more panicked she became, the more she replied, "Because you are our newly appointed largest shareholder." She then took out her phone, much to Yuan's surprise. After a moment, she held the screen in front of him and explained, "The announcement was just issued. I saw it right away. I thought you came specifically for a surprise inspection." At this moment, the system displayed a notification. "Limited time mission completed. Reward received, control of our Hua group." Now he understood everything and thought, "So that was the reward I hadn't checked yet." Seeing that, Bihang, standing next to him, teased, "Well done, brother. You really know how to play." He came closer and continued to tease, "To leave no trace, you even bought a separate hotel to enjoy yourself. I must say the young masters I know are far inferior to you." Yuan simply pointed at him and said to the female manager, "You're the manager, right? Strictly check this kid and the papers of the person staying with him. If they're not complete, don't allow check-in." She had no choice but to nod politely and reply, "Understood, sir." At this point, Bihang pleaded, "Don't be so serious, brother. I've already prepared the little ones. Now you're telling me to change places. It ruins the mood." After failing to persuade him, he pleaded with the manager. "Sister, my brother is very familiar with your boss. He's just joking." Yuan left the mess and walked out of the hotel. The next morning, the sunlight was gentle, shining everywhere. A voice called, "Yuan, how's this braised pork?" Yuan ate while praising. "It's very fragrant, just like back in school." Mrs. Shen smiled softly and said, "As long as you can eat, that's good. Thanks to you, Auntie is healthy again. My body feels much better and going out to dance is no problem. An old gentleman even asked for my WeChat." At that moment, Hyping came over and whispered in Yan's ear, "Yan, the more than 700,000 yuan you paid will be refunded, and I'll return the rest to you slowly." He immediately frowned and said, "Give it back to me fast. Hurry up and earn money, then settle the marriage with Jia K to reassure Aunt Shen." Hyping pulled a bitter face and sighed, "Don't mention it." Yuan saw through him and said bluntly, "Don't beat around the bush. Just say it what's going on." Hyping stopped hiding it and revealed his problem. "Jia K has been avoiding me like pop-up ads lately. We barely talk." After hearing this, Yuan simply asked, "I remember Jia K works at the auto show, right?" Hyping felt curious and replied, "That's right. What's wrong?" Yuan put down his chopsticks without hesitation and said, "Let's go, just in time to look at cars." After that, the two of them went to a tall, magnificent building packed with people viewing cars. Jia K saw them there and couldn't help wondering, "Hyping, Brother Lin, why are you here?" Hyping stepped forward and replied, "Yuan came to see the cars. You're familiar with this. Can you help him with the introductions?" She smiled awkwardly and said, "Sure. I happen to have some free time, so brother, let's go over there." Hyping noticed something wrong with her and asked, "Wait a minute, Jia K, what happened to your knee?" She quickly made up an excuse to cover it up. "I accidentally bumped into something." He became even more anxious and asked repeatedly, "Bumped into what? How did you bump into it?" Jia K just brushed off his concern. "Don't ask anymore." One of her colleagues saw this and sneered, "Our pure and innocent Jia K is still relying on a rich guy." Another came over and chimed in. She was told to move materials, but she moved them into a client's arms, shameless. Hyping frowned uncomfortably. "What are you talking about? This is my girlfriend." Then he turned to her and asked, "Are these your colleagues?" Hearing him ask, she could only vaguely confirm. At this point, Yuan finally spoke up for them. "Jia K, when did you transfer to a cosmetic surgery hospital? Those two colleagues look like mass-produced robots." The colleague continued to sneer, "I remember now, isn't this Jia K's poor boyfriend?" The other stood beside her, adding fuel to the fire. "He's both poor and outdated. I've had 2 thermage treatments on my face. Your combined annual income probably isn't enough." Jia K angrily reasoned with the 2 mean female colleagues. "If you're so rich, why didn't you compensate me for the material loss yesterday?" The long-haired mean colleague arrogantly denied it. "Excuse me, you couldn't walk steadily and fell, damaging the materials. Why are you asking us for money?" The 2 of them mocked Jia K. "I think she's really gone crazy from being poor." "Yes, why didn't she ask the floor for money after falling?" Jia K's face paled as she accused them. "When I walked past you, you clearly tripped me." Recalling the situation then, the long-haired mean colleague had bumped into Jia K while she was carrying a box of materials, causing her to stagger. Her 2 knees hit the ground hard and she fell sprawling. Seeing her like this, the long-haired mean colleague stood gloating. "This area totals 2,000. Looks like you have to pay." Understanding everything, Hyping felt sorry for Jia K. "So that's how these injuries came about. It must have hurt a lot, right?" Jia K turned to comfort him. "It's okay, it's just a scrape." The 2 mean female colleagues continued to mock her. "What are you pretending to be pitiful for? So it turns out she'd do anything to get so many orders. Now she's pretending to be pure here." He took her hand, glared at the 2 mean girls, and demanded, "Apologize to her." He grabbed the long-haired girl's hand and shouted angrily, "I won't allow you to insult my girlfriend. Apologize to her." The girl with the bun scolded, Hyping, "Are you crazy?" The long-haired girl called for help. "Honey, come here quickly." Immediately her backup appeared. It was Mr. Yang. He asked loudly, "Who laid a hand on my precious number 1 and number 2? He walked toward Hyping and the 2 mean girls. The long-haired girl immediately complained, "Honey, it was these people. They grabbed my hand. It was so scary." Just then, Wanzi was looking at the cars when she suddenly saw Yuan. She asked him, "Brother Yan, why are you here?" Hearing her call, Yuan noticed Wanzi. She then said, "I'm here to buy something for my dad. What happened?" Inside the auto show, Mr. Yang and the 2 mean girls stood opposite Yan's group. Mr. Yang crossed his arms and arrogantly demanded, "You're Miss Wanzi's friend, right? In that case, apologize to my precious ones and we'll consider this matter over." Yuan mocked him. "We apologize. Is something wrong with your head?" He didn't answer Yuan, but said to Wanzi, "Miss Wanzi, your friend doesn't give me face, so I won't be polite either." Wanzi gently told him, "Is that so? Then feel free to be impolite. Of course, you'll bear the consequences yourself." Hearing Wanzi's words, he asked in shock, "What do you mean?" Wanzi crossed her arms and replied, "Exactly what I said. Also, our agreement can be put aside for now." Mr. Yang looked at Yan, wondering, what's this kid's relationship with Miss Wanzi? Why does she value him so much? The 2 mean girls standing behind him acted coquettishly. "Honey, I can't apologize to that poor girl. It's too embarrassing. It's humiliating for you too, honey." He pondered silently. Losing that family's order could mean over $1 million in profit gone. The girl with the bun coaxed, "Honey, if you're good to me, I'll be good to you too." The long-haired girl stuck out her tongue playfully. "What you've always wanted isn't impossible." Hearing this, he showed a lewd expression, tossing all calculations aside and waved his hand, saying loudly, "Sorry, my precious, did nothing wrong in this matter. Otherwise, go call the police." Wanzi refused to back down, threatening him. "Then I also want to retract the agreement we just made." Yuan put his hand on her shoulder, stopping her. "No need, Wanzi." He turned and walked toward the exit. Wanzi stared blankly after him while Mr. Yang smiled smugly. Yuan, together with Hyping, Jiake, and Wanzi, walked out of the auto show. Wanzi apologized to him. "Brother, I caused you trouble just now." Yan calmly replied, "It's okay, it wasn't any trouble." Wanzi smiled and wondered. "I didn't expect a barbarian Brother Lin to be so kind today, letting him off so easily." He turned around and said to Wanzi, "What, are you saying I'm the type to hold grudges?" She immediately affirmed, "You are." Hyping also joined in the fun, adding fuel to the fire. "I can testify that she's right." Yuan suddenly turned his head and praised Wanzi. "But it's true, Wanzi, you're a kind person." This made her ask in surprise, "What do you mean?" Inside the auto show, the two mean girls kept flattering Mr. Yang. "Honey, you're so amazing. Tonight I'll make you feel like you're in heaven." The phone in his pocket vibrated with a message. He took it out, opened it, and mocked. "A poor kid wants to show off in front of me. Didn't he just run away with his tail between his legs?" Suddenly, Mr. Yang's face changed. His eyes widened. Stunned by the bad news, he wondered, "Stop supplying goods, how is that possible?" He carefully read the message. Not just a halt this time, every car brand abruptly stopped supplying goods for the expo, he muttered to himself. If this is true, each unfulfilled order will need heavy compensation. Mr. Young grabbed his head. How can this be? How can this be? Who could pull this off, that wretched kid? Just then, the bun-haired girl, unaware, smiled and asked, "Honey, why aren't you saying anything?" "Too happy to talk?" Mr. Y, venting at her, turned and roared, "Damn it, get out of my sight." He spun on the long-haired girl as well. "Both of you out." Outside the auto show, Yan squinted at his phone with a grin. He softly told, "It's fine, just wait to collect a few million in penalties if they can still pay." The car zipped along and someone chirped, "Brother Lin, you just bought this lovely new ride and let me drive. Aren't you afraid I'll wreck it?" Yuan lounged in back and smiled. "Think of it as a test." Kay joked, "Brother, are you making me your chauffeur?" She didn't expect Yuan to nod. "Exactly, interested, the perks and treatment are solid." Kay agreed at once. "Sure, as long as brother trusts me, you set the pay. Anyway, you won't be like that Mr. Y, less hassle for me is best." Hyping in the passenger seat still fumed, cursing those jerks at the auto show. "Jack, you should have told me sooner, I'd never have let you suffer like that." Jack spoke to Sukim. "It's fine, Hyping, your mom was ill recently, I knew you were under pressure, so I didn't want to add to it." She smiled to comfort him. "I thought I could bear it for a bit, it's just a minor scrape." Hyping felt guilty for her. "Jack, I made you suffer," she softly said. "It's okay, with you here I won't suffer." Yuan from the back chimed in. "How about I be your driver as well? Don't let me intrude either." Yuan's face suddenly shifted and he yelled, "Careful, careful." Brakes slammed, the car nearly kissing a white sedan ahead. Kay apologized. "Sorry, Brother Lin, I mean, boss, the car stopped by a tall tower." L. Ryan was waiting there and said, "You little rascal, you still remember me?" She asked Yuan, "You called me down here in such a rush, what's the task?" Yuan put an arm around and said, "This is your boss, you can call her sister Liu Ryan." He introduced Yake to Liu Ryan. "Her name is Yake, she'll be your personal driver from now on." Liu Ryan smiled with interest. "A personal driver, I get this kind of treatment." Kay smiled and motioned to the car, inviting Liu Ryan. "Sister, Brother Lin already prepared a new car for you." Yuan also told Liu Ryan, "Give it a try." Liu Ryan stepped up, praising Yuan. "You still have a conscience. It wasn't for nothing that I rented this office building for you. Stop running around and go up to take a look." Just then his phone rang. He said, "Hold on," and asked the caller, "Teacher John, what's the matter?" Hearing her, he asked gravely, "What did you say? Someone even snuck into Lining's dormitory. I'll be right there." He quickly instructed Liu Ryan, "Take Zio okay to get familiar with things. I've got something to handle." She sighed, "All right." He turned and left. Kay and Liu Ryan watched him go. Liu Ryan gazed after him with tender eyes, secretly resolving, "Next time I won't let you slip away at the women's dorm of Wewing School." The dorm manager chased Boone with a broom. "I'll beat you to death, I'll beat you to death. What are you doing barging into the women's dorm, you pervert?" He fled in a panic, denying it. "Auntie, what are you doing?" "Auntie, please." Teacher Zhang stepped in, spreading her arms to block the dorm manager. "Oh, Auntie, please stop hitting him, he's my student." Bonin panted behind. The dorm manager brandished the broom, still lunging, barking, "A student? What student picks locks?" Buin stumbled back and accidentally collided with Yan. His face blanched as he looked up. Yuan instantly seized his hand, twisted Buin's arm aside, lifted it high and asked, "Where are you running?" Yuan grimaced and yelped, "My hand, it's broken." He opened his mouth in pain and Yuan taped it shut. Teacher John turned and saw Yan, one hand pinning Buin across his body, the other gripping his wrist. She recounted what happened in the dorm. She'd spotted Buin from outside as he climbed the stairs, followed behind, saw him glance around, then pull out a wire. Teacher John hid behind a wall, watching him try to pick the lock. Bonin was now tied, sitting on the floor. "Teacher John," she told Ifan, "I then brought the dorm manager over and called you." She handed him a notebook. "This is what he snuck into Linding's room to take, see if it's important." Ian examined it and recognized the new energy plan. He raised the notebook and asked Teacher Zhang, "This doesn't look like Lining S, where did he get it?" She answered at once, "It's 207, right? I think he took the wrong one." Yupan reminded her, Teacher John, Linding's room is opposite 207, it's 209. She exclaimed, what? And quickly peeled the tape from Buff's mouth. I'm sorry, Mr. Su, I misunderstood you. She blamed herself. How did I remember the wrong room? She untied Bunnan. He snapped at her. I went to my sister's room to fetch something, so what? I'm telling you, if you don't give me an explanation today, you'd better watch out. He jolted when the notebook slipped to the floor. Ian asked, so what? Does your sister know you sneaked into her room to take things? Shall I call her here? He refused at once. That's between me and my sister. Just then, a hot police babe ran up and asked, who called the police? The dorm manager answered, me, officer. Buffin sat on the ground, pointing at Yan, accusing, he hit me and this one broke my arm. The officer who arrived was Manting. She narrowed her eyes, annoyed. Who is he? This little punk is begging for trouble. She told Buin, let's go, we'll head back and sort this out first. Suddenly she looked up, startled, and called out, confirming Yuan. He also recognized her as Manting. Still discussing, Yuan sat in a chair, uneasy and embarrassed, wanting to bolt. Manting mediated, quietly scanning both sides for a few seconds before asking for their views. Both spoke. Mew replied without hesitation, sorry, we're dropping the charges. Then she rose and calmly told her younger brother, Buin, come with me. Bonin was stunned by her decision and protested, drop the charges? Are you kidding? Look at me, I can't even lift my arm. Yuan clutched his arm, sweat on his face, pointing at Yan, this guy must apologize and compensate me. Muyu lost patience and scolded sharply, Buin, haven't you made enough trouble? She pressed on, I won't argue with you about the document yet. You said with me and Wuan keeping an eye on you, you wouldn't mess around. Our family gives you a separate allowance every month. Mew turned to leave, expression firm. Now you won't listen to me. Fine, then I'll have Mom and Dad cancel that allowance. Buin was frightened and hurried after her, pleading, no, don't, sister. He yielded immediately. I'll hear you out, but we could just head home. I went to check the documents. Wasn't it also to help share your burden? Lai reminded him. No need, just manage yourself well, Buin replied, 7 parts cautious and 3 parts helpless. Yes, don't worry, sister, it won't happen again. Mew sighed, yet still cared for her younger brother, asking, does your arm still hurt? I'll take you to the hospital. Effin didn't dare be stubborn anymore. He swung his arm a few times with ease, smiled, and said, it doesn't hurt now, I can even rotate it. Come on, sister, let's go eat. Yuan just wanted to leave right away. Well, the other side has dropped the charges, so I'll be going now. However, a voice stopped him. Who said you could leave? Hearing the serious words behind him, Yuan halted. Manting crossed her legs and informed him, them dropping the charges only means the civil case is off. If your exam report shows more than a minor injury, it counts as a criminal case. She took out her handcuffs and continued, then I can arrest you. Yuan paled and asked, but where are the results? Manting smiled and replied, they're not out yet. Outside, Teacher John overheard Manting and grew extremely worried. Arrest, could it be that serious? Thinking so, she pushed the door open in a panic. Officer, I can testify, she said. He was like that unintentionally. Can the possibility of arrest be reduced? Manting was puzzled by Teacher John's way of addressing him and asked, why call him that? Teacher John's heart trembled slightly. She had spoken too fast and slipped. Fearing the situation would worsen, Yuan urged Teacher John to step back first. All right, Teacher John, go back for now. I can handle this myself. If I need a witness, I'll find you. Really? Teacher John asked, worried and doubtful. Yuan reassured her, don't worry. Finally, Teacher John decided to retreat. Then I'll go write the report first. Remember to call me anytime. From inside, Yuan hummed softly in response. Watching from the doorway, he saw Teacher John leave in a fluster. Softly, Manting called him, and since she couldn't help teasing, said, so you like that type? No wonder you haven't contacted me for so many years. You must have forgot me, right? Yuan asked awkwardly. Didn't you dump me before? He thought to himself. That's right, Manting is my first love, strictly speaking, my senior back then. Being arrested by my first love at the police station. Is there any more awkward reunion? Manting turned around, pretending to agree. All right, I understand. A young man who didn't know a good girl mistaking his senior for treasure. Yuan hurriedly explained, I have no relationship with her, she's just Lin Ning's homeroom teacher. Not long after, a policeman walked in and handed the results to Manting. Manting, the test report is here. Thank you, Mr. Zhang, Manting replied softly. Glancing at the results in her hand, Manting said, consider yourself lucky it's a minor injury. Yuan had been waiting for this moment, he asked. Then can I go now? But Manting stopped him again. Not yet. She put on her cap and suggested, I'm just off work, let's go shopping together, and quickly left. Arriving at a high-end apartment, Manting opened the door, bent to take off her shoes, and said to Yuan, all right, come in. Yuan was extremely puzzled. Yes, Officer WG, didn't you say we were going shopping? Why are we at your place? Calmly, Manting asked back, don't I need to change my clothes? She impatiently pulled Yuan into the house. I can make use of you, Yuan panicked. If there's anything, let's talk it through, don't do anything rash. Looking at the mess inside, he exclaimed, this is way too messy. Exactly, Manting said from within. Otherwise, why would I ask you in just in time to help me clean up? Me, Yuan asked blankly. Sprawled naturally on the bed without reservation, Manting said, that's right, you helped me tidy a few times back in school. Hurry up, others don't even get this chance. Yuan didn't refuse and kindly cleaned the room for her. During this time, Manting didn't stay idle but interrogated him. Tell me, how many people have you dated these years? And tell the truth, don't try to fool me. Yuan awkwardly confessed, only one serious relationship and we've broken up. Without a word, Manting rushed over and kicked him. What are you doing? Yuan asked in confusion. Putting her sweaty toes close to Yuan's face, Manting pretended to be aggrieved. I haven't touched another man in so many years, how dare you? Yuan grabbed her ankle and snapped. After breaking up, am I not allowed to date freely? Does that affect the birth policy or what? To his question, Manting denied it. Did I break up with you? Who said that? Yuan affirmed. You left without a word back then and gave no reason. Wasn't that implicitly breaking up? He wondered. Speaking of which, where did you go? I asked so many people and found nothing. Without mercy, Manting set a condition. Want to know? Fold my bras first. Yuan obediently followed Manting's words. While he folded the underwear, she quickly took out her phone and recorded this precious scene. Oops, I accidentally hit the camera just in time to save evidence of your crime. If this sort of thing leaks, what will it do to a girl's reputation? Yuan exclaimed in shock. Oh my God, you're fishing like law enforcement. Clutching her phone, Manting let out a sly chuckle. Seeing his disagreement, Manting threatened. You wouldn't want your uncle and Lin Ning to find out you're this kind of person, would you? He frowned, unhappy, and replied, I give up. What do you want? Holding up her phone, her voice mocking, she said, I haven't thought it through yet. Anyway, next week you'll come choose a gift with me first. It's my dad's 60th birthday. He immediately changed his tone. I'll go if I have time. She grabbed Yuan's collar angrily. You must have time. And she stood, pushed his head down, and said excitedly, let's go out shopping. Seeing this, he responded, you haven't even changed clothes yet. She opened the wardrobe. Then you choose, what do you want to see me wear? She put on her glasses and said playfully, dominatrix or junior schoolgirl, I can do both. Seeing her like this, Yuan couldn't help blushing. Suddenly, her phone rang. No way at this time, she said angrily, then picked up. Need to increase police force. Okay, I'm coming. Seeing she was busy, he winked. Officer, seems like you don't have time now. She raised her hand. Look, there's an emergency over there. He looked out from the balcony, confused. There's nothing. Is there a fire or a fight somewhere? She moved closer. He subconsciously turned his head and their lips touched. Pointing to her lips, she said, here, the emergency is don't forget me. After that, she turned and left, putting on her police cap. Now I have to go uphold justice. He watched her leave. Uphold justice. Sounds just like something this fool would say. He stretched. I should go do my own work next. In front of a high-rise, Director Jin greeted Yuan through the screen. Sir, we're ready. Yukian continued. Sir, you summoned us urgently. Is there any business you need us to do? He replied coldly. I'm not here for business. I'm here to scold people. The old man was puzzled and asked, scold people? Shouted angrily. Look at you all together. You're enough to prop up half the Southern District's economy. I asked you to look into someone, yet you're not even as capable as an ordinary rich second generation. The other three hurriedly explained. Sorry, sir. Tracking and locating specific individuals really isn't our specialty, right? There are dedicated departments for that. Sir, if you need to investigate a company, we guarantee higher efficiency than any other agency. He smiled faintly. Just so happens I have a company I want checked. This time there's no bidding. I'll invest 1 billion in each of you. I expect you to build an intelligence outfit that serves only me. All information resources will be centralized here. The three were stunned and quickly asked, 1 billion, sir, are you serious? He spread his hands and replied leisurely, of course, on the premise you do it well. In his head, he mused, 11 billion sounds like a lot, but it's only a few thousand yuan. Using half a month's profit to set up my own intel network, cheap. The director of ABC Trust Company chuckled. Don't worry, sir. For most firms, as long as we at Welcome are willing, there will absolutely be no secrets. He added, even down to when the restroom is empty, we'll spell it out for you. Hearing this, he gave instructions. I want an investigation into our new French energy company. This is the new energy plan. If Muyu is foolish about it, it's very likely the company she's preparing to partner with has issues. The scene shifted to Bahang's place. A girl asked coquettishly, honey, what's wrong? He panted and replied, I can't go on. I choked my chicken a little too much. I definitely can't today. She picked something up. If you can't, then let me. Then she pressed herself against him. He asked suspiciously, what are you doing? She whispered evilly into his ear, Bahang room service sent us lots of fun toys. I want to try them. It would be a waste not to use them. He tried to run, but it was too late. Don't even think about it. A scream rang out, making the people downstairs jump. Bahang was sweating profusely, thinking, I can't go back to that room anymore. Just then, the waiter brought food. Mr. Nijima, this is a body-nourishing soup for you. Drinking it will help you recover. He lifted the lid. Your hotel even has such thoughtful service. The waitress smiled, replying, it's all on the boss's instructions. Bahang, gulping it down, said, that boss isn't you, is it? It's still Mr. Lin who thinks of me. The waitress recalled Yif's instructions. That's right. My friend has that hobby, you understand? You can prepare some props for him. Of course, using them is also quite harmful to his health. You guys prepare some blood-replenishing tonics for him. The waiter quickly replied, yes, boss. Rest assured. On this side, he smiled lightly. With this setup, this kid probably won't bring up the hotel anymore. Someone then barked, stop the nonsense over here. The scarred man shouted angrily, carry it up first, be careful, if you break it, you're dead. The voice caught Bahang's attention. He glanced over thinking, isn't that ring subordinate? Then he turned to ask Director Aliu, what's going on? He answered hesitantly, the gentleman on the top floor wants to throw a birthday party. These are some props. Hearing this, Bayang turned his head back. A birthday party? Could it be for Muyu? He replied, "It's indeed for her. You know her too," Director Liu said. Bahang, aware of his own swagger, said loudly, "Of course I know, because this birthday party is being prepared for your boss's girl, Director Liu." Hearing this, he smiled awkwardly, asking, "Sir, please explain clearly." He stated plainly, "Put simply, this kid wants to snatch a woman from my big brother, the boss of your people. Should I cancel it now?" Then he revealed a sinister grin. "Cancel it? Why? Make it bigger the better." He looked around and smiled. The Scarface man looked around once, then smiled. "Not bad, Director Liu, this setup isn't bad." Saying this, he pulled out a powerful black card. "Here's your gift, consider the extra reward from Mr. Liu." Hearing this, Director Liu raised his hand, forcing a smile in reply. "No, the money isn't important. The key is to organize Miss Sue's birthday party well tonight, right?" Hearing that, he withdrew the hand holding the card. "Okay, then we'll listen to Director Liu." Inwardly, he assessed, "This bastard probably figured out the boss's extraordinary status and wants to curry favor. Consider him perceptive." Bahang had overheard the entire exchange between the two. Later, he stood on the rooftop calling, "Yuan brother, hurry to the rooftop of the OA hotel to watch fireworks, yeah?" On the other end came an annoyed voice. "Are you sick, Bahang? Fireworks in the middle of the night. If you like them, can't you buy a few hundred boxes yourself?" Bahang's eyes deepened. "Brother Lin, listen, you can skip other fireworks, but this one absolutely can't be missed." "All right then, meet you on the rooftop." Then he turned to Director Liu. "Arrangements settled." Director Liu replied, "Please wait, Brother Nijima, you arrived just in time." She looked at Buan. "Buan, why did you bring sister here?" He smiled, replying, "Sister, did you forget what day it is today?" His words were vague, leaving Muyu confused. "What day?" Just then, fireworks shot up, forming the numbers 12, 21, and 59. Mew asked again, "What is this?" Passers-by saw it and got excited. "Look, seems like someone's celebrating something." "Oh my god, the numbers seem to be changing." Using fireworks to count down the hour, the display now read 12 hours, 21 minutes, and 0 seconds. Effin slipped his hand into his pocket. "Sister, after 12:00, it's your birthday. You were born on December 21st, so this party also starts 12 minutes and 21 seconds into tomorrow. Congratulations." Hearing this, Mew spoke up. "Bonin, I appreciate the thought, but didn't I say there was no need to prepare anything?" He scratched his head. "Then sister misunderstood me. I can't be that romantic. All this was prepared by a mysterious person for sister." Hearing that, she asked in confusion, "Mr. Mysterious?" At the foot of the stairs, the scarred man held a bouquet and called someone. "Boss, next up is the drone light show. After the show, you can present the flowers and congratulate Miss Sue." Renew's voice came from the other end. "Well done. After this, your bonus will be tripled." Hearing tripled, Scarface couldn't hide his glee. "3 times, thank you, boss. Right about this operations costs 1 million. Hotel didn't. Renew cut him off sharply. "What are you thinking? Just do your job well. I definitely won't treat you unfairly." "Yes, boss," Scarface replied. A short while later, Ringu arrived at Scarface's spot. "What were you saying about the hotel costs earlier?" Scarface answered fearfully. "I was saying the hotel didn't give a discount. In fact, they charged an extra 500,000. Ringu smirked. "Don't fuss over such a small amount. Just do the job well and everything else will be easy." He took the bouquet from Scarface. "It's almost time, let's go." Scarface was displeased but had no right to object. "Yes, boss." Internally, he cursed, "Damn it, don't blame me for taking this money to the club to find some young girls." Meanwhile, Mew was still talking with Buan, unaware someone stood behind them. "Bufin, who exactly prepared all this?" He replied, "Honestly, sis, I don't know who specifically, but let's just watch and see." Just then, Ringu spoke up from behind. "Mayu, happy birthday." She turned around. "Mr. Liu, you're here too." His expression softened. "Is it really surprising that I'm here anyway? Never mind that, just watch this and you'll understand." The crowd below started murmuring again. Look, there are words now." This is the kind of thing wealthy folks do. The words, "Mew, happy birthday." "I hope you're happy," appeared across the sky. She looked up. Then Bunin chimed in, "Isn't that Mr. Liu? Mr. Liu, I must say you really put a lot of thought into this." Then 2 more letters appeared, LYF. Buan asked curiously, "Why the extra letters, LYF? Who is LYF? "A birthday party, sir. Since when were you the one hosting the birthday here?" Hearing that, Scarface flew into a rage, fist raised. "Damn it, are you trying to back out of the deal?" Manager Liu put on an innocent look. "Sir, you mentioned cooperation. May I see the contract, or at least proof of payment?" Scarface was livid, yet speechless. "Damn, no wonder he didn't take the money. He planned to screw me from the start." Ning finally spoke. "Excuse me, I don't get what you mean by not taking the money." Fuming, Scarface turned on the manager. "Fine, let me ask you, if we didn't arrange this birthday, where did all this come from?" Bahang cut in at once. "Didn't I just say my boss set it up? Are you deaf?" Just then, Yuan arrived, yawning wide. "Bihang, what crazy stunt are you pulling now? Can't a guy sleep at night?" Seeing him, Bihang rushed over. "You're finally here." "Sorry, Miss Su, my boss was wiped out from preparing today's party and was resting a bit." Ernu frowned at the sight of Yuan, thinking, "It's this guy again." Mew blushed shyly. "Yuan, I never expected he'd do so much for me." She turned to Manager Liu. "The Yahua Hotel is an international chain, right? As a regional manager causing such a big incident, aren't you afraid I'll report you to headquarters?" Manager Liu replied calmly, "I see. Well, Mr. Lin here is actually the boss of Arthur. You can report straight to him if you like." At that, Ringu grew even more incensed. Is he the head of the entire Yahoo region? Manager Liu answered. Of course not. Ringu exhaled in relief. Thought so, how could a major international group be run by someone like him? Manager Liu clarified. What I mean is, Mr. Lin is the ultimate boss of the entire Yahoo group. Renu froze as if struck by lightning, then shouted, What? Still half asleep after being dragged over, Yuan looked around, confused. What's going on? Why is everyone gathered here? Renat turned to Mu and stated plainly, Anyway, Muyu, if you're willing to give me face, I plan to hold a separate birthday for you and we can discuss the cooperation at the same time. She answered softly, Mr. Lau, there's no need for a separate birthday. As for signing the contract, I still want to think it over carefully. He frowned, eyes widening. Why, haven't we gone over that project many times already? We all thought it was perfect. She looked displeased and glanced at Buin. We're not even partners yet, Mr. Liu. Honestly, you arbitrarily helping my brother plan things makes me feel you've overstepped. Nguyen lowered his head in fear. I'm sorry, sister. Seeing his plan crumble, Ringu clenched his teeth and cursed inwardly. Idiot, I knew he couldn't pull anything off. He said, My sincerity is obvious. If Miss Su doesn't accept, maybe I'll find a better partner. As he turned to leave, he added arrogantly, New energy is booming now. You can make money with your eyes closed. If your family won't do it, I'll find another family. Let's go. He said that, yet inside he burned with jealousy. Watching him go, Bayang taunted, flipping him the bird. You think you're worthy of putting on airs in front of my brother? Then he turned to Ifan. Brother, are you satisfied with what I did? He smiled. That was your idea? Bahang gestured toward Director Liu. Not entirely, it's also thanks to Director Liu's cooperation. Director Liu raised a hand. Thank you, Brother Nijima, for the mention. Mu cut in, halting their chatter. Yan, I have something to say to you. Is it convenient? She took his hand and led him aside. Let's go over there. Director Liu and Bihang whispered when they saw this. Thanks to Brother Bihang's play. Bihang replied with confidence. Of course, my brother's aura farming game needs no further explanation. Mon, let's go. Let's not get in the way here. Mu leaned her hands on the railing. Why, Fa, thank you for doing all this for me. It's very thoughtful and I'm really touched, but I want to say there's no need to keep spending your efforts. He didn't get it at first, thinking, right, is this the nice guy card? She added gently. Although this may hurt you, it's better to be clear than let you keep trying in vain. The Su family is in a period of reform and change. I can't be distracted by other things. Ondon agreed right away. Okay, I get it. Anything else? If not, I'm going back to sleep. He turned to leave, waving. All right, head back and rest early too. Seeing how calm he was, she couldn't help thinking, he's so composed, I understand, Yuan must be pretending not to care because he's too heartbroken. It seemed she misunderstood his feelings. She felt a little melancholy, telling herself, this is better, at least he can let go of me. I won't think about this anymore. On his way back, Ifan wondered, why do girls nowadays think everyone should like them? Is it just because they're a bit pretty and have bigger breasts? While he pondered, his phone rang. Sir, there's been progress on the company you wanted investigated. The report has been sent to your mailbox. Hearing that, he opened it, eyes widening in surprise. There really is a problem. Jiffy on the other end continued, Sir, if you need more detail, please wait 1 week. You'll get everything you want. He replied, that's almost enough. Stop the investigation here. Yuan thought wearily, if I keep going, I'll get chased with a nice guy card. I don't have that hobby. The system then notified, you have completed the stage mission. My eyes are the ruler ability upgraded. Just then, while on the phone, he saw a young woman ahead hugging and kissing an old man. Baby, I'll go home first. Seeing him, she flushed at the awkward scene, then snapped. What are you looking at? He chose to appraise her bag instead of answering. Aim, wallet, then briefcase. The edge stitching is machine finished. The base of the wallet is thinly layered, decent for a fake. She flew into a rage at the word fake. Fake, she hurled the bag at the old man. Go to hell, old man. Only after speaking did he realize, I've never studied these things. Why did I just say that? Then the system chimed again. The host will receive richer rewards for continuously completing missions. He thought, though I can't see the use of these system rewards, at least no amount of money can buy them. Not a loss, not a loss. Seeing that Yuan kept quiet, the person on the other end asked, Sir, are we not investigating anymore? He coughed awkwardly. Investigate, we must investigate. I'm a kind, simple man. I can't stand seeing girls get fooled. Wanzi came over and, hearing him, asked curiously, Who is it you can't bear to see deceived? He was a little surprised to see her. Wanzi, why are you here? She was startled. Brother Yuan, her mood dropped at once. My dad dragged me to drink tea, that kind of middle-aged men's gathering. I finally escaped. She quickly regained her cheer. There were gorgeous fireworks over there just now. Do you know what happened? He replied, Yeah, what happened? Speaking of which, where's your live stream? She held up a camera. I'm taking a break today. It's my material gathering day. By the way, Brother Yuan, where do you live? Can I go take a look? Some hairspray and asked as it grew darker. They walked up the stairs. He asked her, Tell me, aren't you afraid of danger running around here in the middle of the night? She replied playfully, I said I'm gathering material. You wouldn't do anything strange on camera, would you, Brother Yuan? Are you live? She said, No, just filming a vlog. This episode is titled The Super Rich Man's House. I'll post it when views are low. She took his arm. Then you have to cooperate with me, brother. He replied indifferently. At that moment, a noise sounded. Are you giving this grandmother a hard time? Two men were threatening Mrs. Shen fiercely. This is the price, sell or not, up to you. If not, just wait for your son to go to jail. He stepped forward and shouted, What are you doing? Seeing him, they left, tossing back. We'll give you one last day. Think it over. He asked softly, Mrs. Shen, what's wrong? Late at night, after accidentally witnessing Mrs. Shen being threatened, Yuan invited her inside to ask about the situation. Wanzi helped Mrs. Shen. Come on, Grandma, sit here. He smiled and handed her a glass of water. Mrs. Shen, have some water, what happened? She raised her hand a bit politely and said, Thank you, I'm fine, it's just that I can't rent this house to you anymore. I came to tell you this. Yuan, I'll return last month's rent and the deposit to you. At this moment, Yuan heard the system notification, detected the aura of a great grievance. The host will receive a random reward for rescuing the aggrieved within the time limit. He seemed intrigued. Then Yuan sat down and asked, Mrs. Shen, why is that? I've gotten used to living here. I was even planning to add money to buy this place back from you. Hearing that, Mrs. Shen smiled and replied, Yuan, I'm very happy you're doing so well. She looked over at Wanzi. Your girlfriend is also very beautiful. The word startled her and Wanzi thought to herself, girlfriend. Then with a regretful look, Mrs. Shen spread her hands. Unfortunately, there's no other way. I want to sell all the rooms. My son's company is in trouble and needs money urgently. You two just saw it. It's about me selling the house. Yuan didn't quite believe it and asked, The house? If you hadn't said that, I would have thought it was a robbery. She frowned, not refuting him. It is robbery, I've checked. Although our Hongkong area is an old neighborhood, the average price for each unit is over $1 million. I have more than 10 rooms, so it should be at least 10 million. She recalled the debt collectors. I need money urgently, so they want me to sell them for just $1 million each. She lowered her head and closed her eyes in resignation. Forget it. A loss is a loss. I can't let my son go to jail. Can you understand? He smiled, offering her a solution. If that's the case, I'll buy them all. 15 million, Mrs. Shen, what do you think? She was startled when she heard this, but seemed to think it was a joke, so she forced a smile. Of course, if I can sell them to you, I'd agree even for a little less. Yuan didn't hesitate. He picked up his phone and typed, then said, Ma'am, check your message. See if the usual card you used to collect rent received a notification. She held her phone, sweating. Really? They're 10,000, 100,000, 1 million? Yuan, are you serious? Looking at her doubtful eyes, he confirmed, Why wouldn't I be? I wouldn't trick you in the middle of the night for no reason. Seeing his determination, she panicked. Wait a minute, I'll go back and get the papers for you now. We'll handle the transfer tomorrow. He quickly stopped her. We can't do it tomorrow. They're closed on weekends, ma'am. Mrs. Shen was excited. Then Monday, we'll do it Monday morning. He listened helplessly. Mrs. Shen, you should go home and rest early, too. He then stood up to leave. I'll see you out. But Mrs. Shen turned around and said, Why would you accompany an old wrinkly geezer like me instead of staying with your girlfriend? Go on, go on. Reaching the stairs, she looked back and winked. No need to see me out. This old lady has money now. I'll call a car. If I meet a handsome young driver, I might even chat with him. Yun didn't insist further and agreed. Okay, be safe. After Mrs. Shen left, he and Wanzi returned to the room. He explained, Although Mrs. Shen is a bit casual, the rental rooms are quite good. If anyone has an emergency and is short of money, she's willing to postpone the rent for a month. Wanzi listened. I understand, so that's why you helped her. He replied, It's not really helping. This is an old neighborhood. In the long run, at this price, I'm only gaining, not losing. She plopped into a chair and stretched. Speaking of which, the Hongkong area, why did I hear that name today? She recalled the conversation between two fans. Let me tell you a secret. The city just decided on a new development area today. Really? Where? She put a hand to her forehead, closed her eyes, and said, Where is the new development area they mentioned? I can't remember. She drifted off to sleep, not bothering to recall. He was surprised. You can fall asleep here just like that. This girl is too bold. Yuan approached her, reaching out as if to do something, thinking, Fortunately, I'm upright and kind. Otherwise, the consequences would be unimaginable. Suddenly, he noticed, What body wash do you use? It smells quite nice. Suddenly, the sleeping one woke with a start, stood up, and her head bumped his chin. Yuan, startled, covered his chin and asked, What are you doing? Wanzi, confused, replied, Did I just fall asleep? Then she exclaimed, I'm sorry, Yuan. He rubbed his chin and said, Fortunately, nothing serious happened. Change the subject. It's getting late, I should go home. He agreed. All right, I'll walk you to your car. But suddenly Wanzi said worriedly, I think I lost my tourmaline. Can you help me look for it? He was puzzled. I didn't see you wearing one. She bent down to search under the chair, explaining, I didn't wear it. I purposely brought it with me. It's a blue tourmaline my mother gave me. If I lose it, she'll kill me. He joined the search. What does it look like? Wanzi replied, It's blue. Very eye-catching. At that moment, he picked up a bracelet and asked, Is it this? Wanzi exclaimed joyfully, Yes, that's it. That's great. She breathed a sigh of relief, wiping her sweat. If I truly lost it, I wouldn't even know what to do. Yuan stepped over and passed it to her while still reminding her, Such a precious thing, and you keep it in your wallet. Let me put it on for you. Wanzi blushed and confessed, Honestly, I don't really like wearing it, but when I go with my dad to formal occasions, I have to look presentable, so I usually carry it with me. Hearing this, he placed the bracelet in her hand and said, All right then, keep it safe anyway. She accepted it shyly. Thank you, Yan. Then she ran off as if escaping, not forgetting to say goodbye. I'll be going now. He waved. Be careful on the stairs. Wanzi replied, I know. If I go back any later, I'll get scolded. After escaping from his room, she stood on the stairs panting and thought to herself, Why do I unconsciously want to kiss him when I see your face getting near? Thinking of this, she shyly rubbed her cheeks. No. Wheezy, you're a streamer. How can you do that with a fan? Then she quickly counted. Wait, that's not right. Yuan doesn't seem to be my fan. He usually doesn't watch my live streams. Realizing she was overthinking, she told herself, that's not okay either. How can a girl take the initiative in this kind of thing? Wanzi, you have to have some self-respect. Back to Yuan, he stood in the room pondering, speaking of which, according to the system alert, that Tourmaline might not be a genuine Paraiba. Earlier, when he touched the bracelet, the system pinged, appetite ice crack treatment. Thinking back, he stretched tiredly. Forget it. There was no wrong soul or a notification. I'll ask her again next time. Yuan got into bed, rubbing his head. Finally, I can go to sleep, my warm little bed. But trouble came again. Manting knocked loudly outside the door. Yuan, open the door, I know you're in there. Opened the door, puzzled. Sis, what are you doing here in the middle of the night? Manting reminded him, didn't we agree to go shopping for gifts together this weekend? Have you forgot? He yawned and replied, what time is it? Let me ask you, is there any shopping mall open in the middle of the night? Manting crossed her arms, unconcerned. What's there to be afraid of? It is still the weekend anyway. You have to stay with me. Suddenly, she looked around, making him confused. What are you doing again? She turned and replied, good, you're not hiding anyone in your house, otherwise your consequences would be severe. Yuan turned away. Whatever, I'm going to sleep. Wait a minute. Manting ran over and grabbed his hand. Wait for me to make you a love supper, we'll eat and then go back to sleep. A moment later, a hot pan was placed on the stove. Yuan asked impatiently, it's been 2 hours, is this your love supper? Manting struggled to crack an egg into the pan, replying, it must be the wrong technique, let me try again. Unable to watch any longer, he approached the stove. All right, let me do it or you'll blow up my kitchen. She could only chuckle. Go to the living room and wait. She picked up his shirt and sniffed it, then silently speculated. There's no scent of another woman on him, but there is here. It shows slow progress, yet I can't be careless. Moment later, 2 bowls of egg noodles were brought out. He sat down at the table and said, eat your noodles. She excitedly praised, it smells so good. After taking the first bite, she laughed happily. It's been so long since I've had noodles cooked by you. I wanted to eat some as soon as I got off work. Hearing this, he laughed. So that's your real purpose. You said you'd make it for me, but you actually forced me to do it. Who told you to still be the same as before, so easy to bully? Hurry and eat. After eating, we'll exercise together, or it'll be hard to digest. He blushed awkwardly. There's no need for that in the middle of the night. She leaned close to his face, sticking out her tongue and licking her lips. I must make you so tired you collapse. In the quiet of the night at YF's house, Manting's voice rang out. YF, I can't do it anymore. I really can't. In the room, the 2 of them were doing push-ups. Seeing that he had already done 177, she was surprised. How can you still do it? He jumped to his feet. Didn't you say we can only stop when both of us say stop? Keep going. Think about your duty. With a body weaker than a dry twig, how can you protect others? You're still dozens behind me. Wait until you're done and we'll continue. She trembled, helpless. Damn it, you secretly got so much stronger while I wasn't here. It's this late already. All should be open now. All right, get up, shower, and change your clothes. Let's go buy gifts. Manting's face was covered in sweat. She sighed, if I had known, I would rather have stayed and worked overtime. The 2 then strolled through the mall. He turned to ask her, have you decided what to give your uncle yet? She replied, yes, a saxophone. Yuan was a little surprised by the gift. A saxophone? Why didn't I know your uncle could play that? She explained, not really. He just plays for fun. You don't know he's retired now. He just stays at home and does odd jobs every day. Passing by a store, she pointed and said, there seems to be a musical instrument store over there. Let's go take a look. Seeing customers early in the morning, the staff member ran over enthusiastically. Welcome, what are you looking for? Manting spoke up and asked, do you have saxophones? The staff member nodded immediately. Of course, please follow me. Arriving at the saxophone display, the staff member turned and asked, what range of saxophone are you looking for? We're currently out of stock on the high-pitched models. Manting pondered for a moment with her chin in her hand and then replied, mid-low range, he likes classical music. Hearing this, the staff member immediately understood. She took one out and introduced, if that's the case, I recommend this Kasani, purely handcrafted. The craftsmanship and sound quality are impeccable. She proudly added, this is the last one in our store. Because it's purely handcrafted, it may take a few years for the next batch to arrive. I don't really understand this, but it looks good. Okay, we'll take this one. Happy to have secured a good order early in the morning, the staff member cheerfully replied, yes, ma'am, I'll go print the receipt for you. Just then, a woman walked in. I heard there's a very expensive saxophone. Get me one. The staff member nervously rushed over. Ma'am, are you looking for the Kasani? I'm very sorry, this young lady just paid for it. Hearing this, the woman cleared her throat. Sold. She reached into her chest, took out a black card, and ordered, do you know what this card is? It's a Henderson Mall Black VIP card. Cancel her order and sell it to me. The staff member was in a difficult position, waving her hands. I'm very sorry, ma'am. This is against store policy. The woman suddenly slapped the staff member, then cleared her throat and yelled, policy? What policy? I spend millions here every year just to follow your policies. Do you have a brain? Seeing this, Manting stepped forward and spoke up. I'm warning you, deliberately causing trouble is illegal. Glancing at the staff member with a threatening look, the woman retorted arrogantly, what trouble am I causing? Ask her if anything happened here. Just then, the manager also rushed over. I'm so sorry, Ms. Liu. It was our staff member's fault. He turned to the staff member and criticized. He-shan, did you use water instead of your brain? Apologize to Ms. Liu immediately. The woman hearing this winked and asked the manager, do you know me? The manager said solemnly, of course, Ms. Liu. Although you've never shopped at our store, legends about you are everywhere in Henderson. It's our honor that you could come today. The woman grew even more arrogant upon hearing this. Good that you know. Fire this girl immediately, then have these two poor devils sell me the saxophone. Manting couldn't help feeling annoyed at this scene. I say you're going too far. She was about to step forward when Yupon grabbed her hand. It's okay. He looked at her and softly said, step aside, leave this to me. She watched him confront the woman, her heart full of confusion. What is he trying to do? As soon as Ian stepped forward, the woman pointed at his face and yelled, what are you doing? A loser wants to show off here. Do you know your place? He calmly replied, excuse me, have you been constipated lately? The woman's face turned pale as she snapped. How did you know? No, wait, what's it to you? Listen, be smart and hand over the saxophone. I'll give you 2,000 as a fee. Think carefully. 2,000 is enough for a month's salary for you poor devils. Unprovoked by her words, he glanced and replied, of course it's none of my business. It's just that your excrement is stuck in your stomach and the smell is coming back up. No wonder your mouth is so foul. The woman, stung by his words, gritted her teeth. She furiously raised her hand to slap him. You dare speak again? Before her hand could reach him, he caught it. He glared at her. That's exactly what I wanted you to do. Throwing her to the ground, he said coldly, get away from me, I'm afraid of getting dirty. Unable to do anything, she grew even angrier. How dare you? She pointed at him and started making a scene. Somebody, are all the Henderson people dead? Get this poor man out of here. Old Jang, come here quickly. The manager didn't dare intervene. He could only shout from the sidelines. Ms. Liu, please wait. I'll go find someone right away. A man walked in and asked, what's wrong? What happened, baby? The woman cried when she saw the man. Mr. Zing, where were you? I wanted to buy a saxophone for Shia, but this poor guy not only refused to give it to me, he also pushed me down. The man stroked her head, comforting her. It's okay, baby. He walked toward Yan, threatening him. Let me tell you, if anything happens to my baby, even chopping you up won't be enough to compensate. Yan calmly replied, I'm the one who's going to get hurt. Someone like her seeing a handsome guy like me would just come up and harass me. Looking at you like this, I know she usually doesn't eat well, but she's not that desperate, is she? The old man, hearing the sarcasm, gritted his teeth. What did you say? The woman suddenly clutched her stomach and called out, Mr. Zing? He interrupted, don't worry, baby, I'll definitely avenge you. Her face turned pale, clutching her stomach tightly, she explained, no, my stomach hurts so much. It hurts terribly. The old man, confused, asked, honey, what's wrong with you? Was it because that bastard pushed you? She awkwardly said, it's the kind of stomachache that makes you regret eating the gas station burrito. My stomach is bloated and my legs are weak. Yuthan coldly added, looks like you have to let her go relieve herself first. The old man still warned, if you have the guts, don't go, I'll deal with you later. Ignoring them, he looked up at the system and thought to himself, I didn't expect the system's reward this time to be this. Completed the mission to rescue Mrs. Shen, the great suffering seed. Reward received, sacred hand of traditional medicine, life-saving and injury mending. He watched the light descend on him, smirking, just in time to test it on her. Hurriedly taking her toward the restroom, the old man anxiously reassured her, baby, bear with it a little longer. I'll take you there. Her face turned green as she shook her head. No, Mr. Zing, I can't hold it anymore. Just then, the manager ran over with someone. Ms. Liu, don't be afraid, I'm still protecting you, I'll help you. What a nuisance while I'm trying to poop, she muttered as the two of them looked annoyed at who had arrived. Recognizing her, the people nearby gathered and gossiped. Look at them, I heard that Mizu was being harassed. Who's the blind one? How dare they provoke our Miss Liu? Go, gossip. Seeing her whole body trembling, the old man panicked. Hey, you're not going to poop here, are you? Hold it in a little longer, she replied urgently. I can't. As soon as she finished, a stream of green gas and a loud sound erupted from her anus. Witnessing this, everyone froze, immediately covering their noses. She was mortified and could only cling to the old man's hand and plead, Mr. Zing. He was also embarrassed and quickly shook her hand off, yelling, Get away, I don't know you. Don't come near me, damn it stinks to death. Yuan and Manting had already moved 100 meters away. She covered her nose and said, That's too cruel. Yifa shook his head slightly. Who knew these rich people played like that? He looked at the woman sarcastically. The legend of change, right? I wasn't sure before, but now I'm sure it's true. Back at the trumpet shop, after witnessing the pooping scene, the manager changed his tune. Good, that way there won't be any Mizlu anymore. Just pretend nothing happened. Next time, be careful who you mess with. If something like this happens again, I won't know how to clean it up. I know, Manager Chen. Mr. Lei is on the phone, the staff member suddenly blurted. Right, where's the trumpet? The manager happily answered the call. Mr. Lei, what can I do for you? The yelling from the phone made him turn pale. Chen Ping'an, what the hell did you do to me again? I'll give you 5 minutes, get out of there immediately. He didn't understand and asked, What's going on, Mr. Lei? What happened? Is it because of Ms. Liu? Hearing this, the other side shouted, I don't know any Ms. Liu, I'm telling you, you've messed with the boss's boss. The manager meekly said, Mr. Lei, could you be a little more specific? Mr. Lei grew even angrier, shouting, You don't even understand this. All right, get out of here, go die wherever you want. Turning to Yan, he saw the trumpet already in his hand. Right, your trumpet. Manting was puzzled when she saw him holding it. Where did you get it? Did you pay for it? Don't tell me you stole it. He replied calmly, I haven't paid, or do you want to arrest me? She said, seriously, stop talking nonsense. How much is it? I'll transfer it to you. He chuckled and waved his hand. No need, I have a friend who knows someone here. I called and they said it's a gift for you. He took out his phone and called Bahang. Is Henderson your brand in the Southern District? Do you know them? Bahang answered, Henderson. It belongs to a junior of mine. Just tell me what you need, sir. Manting admired the trumpet in her hand. She turned around gratefully. Speaking of which, you didn't let me go up just now. Were you trying to protect my image? Yuan looked dumbfounded. Protect what image of yours? You're overthinking it. Think about it. If there was a conflict and someone filmed it and netizens found out I'm a police officer, wouldn't I be screwed? Not only would reason become unreasonable, but it would also easily tarnish the profession. She suddenly moved closer to him. You thought of this, didn't you? He still pretended to be naive and replied, before I could even be knocked down by the other party, I would have been handcuffed by you first. That's very likely. No more talking. Where are we going later? It's rare for us to have a date. Just then, Yuan received a call. Manager Wang, you said the hotel was reported. I'm sorry, Manting. I have something to take care of now. Remember to call me for your uncle's 60th birthday. She smiled and nodded. All right then. Yuan hurried off. She watched him leave and whispered to herself, although I will arrest you, before that I will stand with you because I promised. Even without my police uniform, I won't let anyone hurt you. Back at the hotel, drops of blood were trickling into the bathtub. How did it come to this? Why did the woman, seeing this scene, pick up the knife beside her? If this world can no longer hold me, then I don't want to live anymore. She resolved to end her life. But just then, a female staffer came by. Hello, room service. Yet as soon as she entered, a foul odor wafted out. What's that smell? That's odd. When she opened the door, she saw the woman clutching a knife. A scream rang through the hotel. What happened? Did someone die? Yuan asked Manager Liu. No, that guest has a severe skin condition. Her whole body is covered in sores, so she cut herself with a knife and now she's been taken to the hospital. Luckily, her life isn't in danger. A group of people arrived from afar, shouting that your hotel is too filthy. My wife had a face like a flower. It was because she stayed in this hotel that she now looks like a Minecraft zombie. Now she doesn't want to live anymore. What kind of evil hotel are you? Then a crowd appeared, raising pre-made signs. Protest against the evil hotel, murder hotel. Manager Liu came to explain to Mr. Lin. Our hygiene procedures and standards here are very strict, so this kind of thing cannot happen. They clearly want to cause trouble. I know you just do your job normally. Sir, we support any professional inspection organization to come here. If we find that the environment of our room is the cause of your wife's illness, then the treatment fees to the end will be paid by us. I don't care about these things, assessments or no assessments. If you don't compensate me, I will bring people here to make noise every day. So, sir, how would you like to be compensated? This guy immediately raised his hand. 5,000? You mean 5,000? Yes, 5,000. Transfer it to me from your personal account. Don't use public funds to avoid being accused of extortion. I will transfer it to you. But then Yupan stepped out to stop him. Wait, it's okay, Mr. Lin. These people just want to take advantage of us. 5,000 to deal with a group of thugs is considered cheap. Manager Liu quickly showed the man the successful transfer information. Sir, now that we have reached an agreement, you know what to do. Otherwise, I will call the police next time. Don't worry. That I've got the money, I promise I won't bother you again. Let's go. But Yupan still had a question, mobilizing so many people just for 5,000. Something felt not right. The man hurriedly ran outside. At that time, he met an acquaintance again. Is that him? I saw you were busy just now. Do you have time to talk business now? The Scarface man said. Yuan smiled as if he understood the scheme. What do you want to talk about? Our mister really likes this hotel. How about 5 million? That's ridiculous. 5 million can't even buy the lobby. Security dragged these people out for me, the manager said. But the Scarface man took out a bag of powder. Do you recognize this? If you don't sell, I will report that your hotel is suspected of drug trafficking. Take a look at the information. The evaluation starts analyzing fake and genuine controlled substances with a purity of up to 89.7%. It's the real thing. Yuan thought to himself, are you crazy? Aren't you afraid of me calling the police? Yuan said, go ahead and report it. I'm afraid you won't dare to report it. When the police arrive, I will say that I am the seller and you are helping me store and sell it. Manager Liu is a witness. He received a bribe of 5,000 from me. You're a psycho. You can say whatever you want. You don't even have my account number. At that moment, the manager's bank account also received a transfer of 5,000. What else do you have to say now? Evidence is all here. Yupan finally understood the whole story. It turned out it was because of this. The Scarface man continued to provoke Yan. You made our mister suffer and you don't want to pay the price. Don't worry, with this amount of grams, you won't be sentenced to death, at most 12 years. As for you, this hotel will definitely not be able to open again. If it really doesn't work, Mr. Liu still has a way. Today it's a skin infection. Tomorrow, will someone come to commit suicide? But Yuan suddenly smiled evilly, smiling back at him. What are you laughing at? You're such an idiot. I thought there would be someone else causing trouble. Then Yuan used his speed to snatch the bag of powder from his hand. Purity of 90% is not even as good as garbage, and you still want to buy our hotel. How do you know? The Scarface man said. I've never used this stuff before, so I had to go through some connections to get a small bag, the Scarface man thought to himself. Do you think I could become the general manager of our HUA at such a young age based on what? Where do you think the largest supply channel for this kind of transaction comes from? You mean Manager Liu? Take him to my wine room. Let him see what high-quality goods are like. I know, but even this manager doesn't understand what his wine room is. The Scarface man was shocked at this time. Could it be that I have met a real big shot? When Newfound went inside, he threw a bag down on the table. Look and see what this is. Isn't it just white sugar? Consider that you know the goods. This is a new type of molecular spice. Under the 0.01 ultra-thin sugar coating is a product with a purity of over 99.7%. Adding a little sweetness will increase the stimulation, unlike your pile of garbage. Only Manager Wang knows best that this is not something I use to supplement sugar when I have hypoglycemia. It's just heat-relieving sugar. He continued to add fuel to the fire. Don't you want to call the police? Do you want me to help and give you a few more pills? Do you think eating one is enough? He began to blame himself. So stupid, really too stupid. Why did I provoke such a big shot at this level? Damn it, I'm dead for sure. He immediately knelt down and begged. Big brother, I was really wrong. I was also forced. I took 1.5 million from Lu Ringu and he found out, so he threatened me. Give me a chance. Big share, I want to do business with you. You sit down over there. You don't know that you are wrong, you just know that you have no way out. What have I done that you look down on me so much? I'm willing to pay the price even if it means losing my little commando. I will accept it. He took out his small dagger and was about to do it when Yan snatched the knife from his hand. Children should not touch this. He didn't expect his reflexes to be so fast. That's fast. If I hadn't been in this business for 10 years, how could I have this kind of skill? That's not necessary. Let me think. Indeed, if I let you go, someone else will come looking. Manager WG, the hotel will be closed for a week. You go handle all the compensation for the customers and also take 2 million to take the staff on a trip. Okay, Mr. Lin. The other guy was confused when he saw this. Big brother, what do you mean? Isn't Lu Renew trying to threaten me? This is considered your hard work. I will give him an extra 500,000. It's quite good. Have you seen it? This is our Mr. Lin, paid vacation for dishes and 1 soup, not to mention the workplace. In short, all the necessary benefits for employees are available, unlike that Gu Renew. He was so moved that he shed tears. Manager Lin, I want to work with you all. He smiled because he had found a good employee. Then try it out for a while and then we'll talk. Mr. Lin, I have one more thing to say. Luring really wants to please the S family. What do you think is the reason? Isn't it just the small head controlling the big head? No, if it truly worked like that, it would be nothing. Lu Renew is a scumbag. He wants the Su family wiped out. Tell me the details. The Su family is declining and everyone above and below is anxious. He noticed this. He set a trap to bankrupt the Su family, then he'll seize the daughter and the family assets. I know you'll go back and report to Lu Renew first. As for what follows, wait for my arrangements. I understand, big brother. That's right. The salesperson who sold to him. Give me the file under his name. You can't let anyone ruin the rules. Okay, elder. When the time comes, we'll hand it to Wang Manting. It'll be perfect. Scene change at Li Yuan tea house. Sumuyu sits in a corner reading while Lu Ringu sits opposite, receiving the intel he brought back. Well, I thought he was a hard case, but with one scare, he obediently shut down. Is that fine? Also, are you sure it's 5.5 million? Of course, President Lo, how would I dare make the same mistake again? Good to hear. Lu Ringu walks over to Sumuyu, sign it. Muyu, no one is more sincere than me. For all distributions, I'll add 10% over market value. I'm satisfied with that rate, yet I still want to weigh other terms. Okay, take your time. If not, go upstairs, there are private rooms. If you're tired, you can rest. After a bit, she takes out her pen. His scheming face looks like he's been waiting for this moment. Suddenly, she gets a text. She doesn't hurry to sign, reads for a while, then quickly stands. I'm sorry, I have to go first. Let's pause here. Seeing this, he rushes after her. What's wrong, Mew? Do you want me to come with you? But Mew says nothing, leaves straight away, and he's left bitter, almost tricked. A moment later, in the underground lot, Li Ryan is in the car with Sumuyu. Miss Su, this is sudden. I can only speak with you briefly in the car, please understand. My name is Li Ryan, person in charge of Firework Investment Consulting, Firework Investment. Your father, Mr. Jen, is an important client of ours. He entrusted us with investment analysis. This is the survey report on the target we just received. Please take a look. Sumuyu scans it. Lemon's Technology, a fraud company. Where did you get this? It's from a financial news report. Miss Su can verify it herself. Not only that, it seems you've also reached the parent company behind it. What do you mean? After the talk ends, I see. Thank you. Contact me again when you're free. After watching Sumu leave, Yuan shows up. Seriously, I manage the company for you, and now I have to help you with girls. I'm becoming a housewife. That's because I'm not interested, so I asked you to handle it. If I show up, she'll start having wild ideas again and hand me the nice guy card. Just wait. That's right. How can a mature woman like me compare to a young girl, right? He doesn't dare meet Lorion's eyes. Not necessarily. She's not much younger than you. You know so clearly and still say you're not interested. I'm kind and generous. She grabs his collar at once and drags him off. Let's go, get in the car. What are you doing? Aren't you kind? I want to see how capable you are. In the car, after a long round, Li Ryan was pinched by her. Isn't it the shock absorber of a luxury car? But it had no effect. Moreover, it hurt like hell. For this, blame yourself. You're married and still like to play. When he said that, she immediately sent a message to his hand and bit it. Just then, from the back pocket of her pants, the phone rang. Help me a bit. I really can't move. When he deliberately bent to grab the phone for her, she edged even closer, face shy. Passed the phone over. She read the message. Miss Su asked me to prepare a document to report Lemon's technology to Country F, but not to send it yet. What is she trying to do? Whoever knows what to do has already done it. I'm just waiting for my reward. Yufun also got a call. Isn't Wang Manting the one currently catching the drug dealer? But he answered anyway. Darling, this time I've made great merit. We not only smashed a trafficking den on the island, but also got key intel. Tell me, the buyer for that guy is a man surnamed Lu from South City. He was once a suspect in a missing female university student case. Before we had no evidence at all, but this time we broke through from their transaction site going missing. Anyway, wait for my good news. Okay, then I'll reward you. Transition to another scene. Muyu, have you finally decided? Mew replied, this cooperation still has one more issue. I heard Lemon's money hasn't been fully paid. Suddenly his face turns a bit sour. She continues, if so, I'm afraid we can't cooperate. Is that right, Mew? Wait while I confirm. Then he walked to his subordinates. Where did this girl get such info? Boss, what now? What else? We were almost at the door, just wire 10 million to her account to placate her. Quick. Boss, don't worry, I'll handle it. Then he strode back to her. Mew, I just confirmed with my assistant. It's a misunderstanding. Don't worry, absolutely nothing like that will happen. Are you sure, Mr. Lu? After all, investing several thousand isn't small. His subordinate suddenly raised his hand, signaling success. Don't worry, Muyu, check by any means. If there's such an issue, I'll refund your entire investment. No wonder your boss, Lu, intimidating yet slick in dealings. What are you implying? Mew explained, Lemon was originally Mr. Lu's front company, using your own people to play a trick to fool me, right? He was so angry his face turned the same shade as hit Cheetos. Damn it, you already knew and pretended to toy with me. You can cheat in business, so I can't counter. It seems you must have just transferred a lot to Lemon, correct? The country strictly audits these front firms. I've already filed a report. I believe they'll freeze and confiscate the funds immediately. Take that as a lesson. That's why I'm here. He walked up, cursing again and again. Smelly. Okay, Buin, let's go, Ban. But she didn't expect your brother to pull out the telegram this time. Don't blame me, right? You're going just like that. He's going to place the quote by her side. Ringu outside the door laughed when he saw her lying unconscious. Dare to fight me. Moving scene to an industrial park. Yuthan, are you crazy? Do you want to kill the Su family? Su family. The Su family has nothing to do with me. Everything belongs to you. Our parents only valued you. The Su family will belong to her in the future. And me, what do I get? So that's why you helped him. Brother Lu has already said it. From now on, the Su family will be under my control and I won't be controlled by you anymore. Dividends. Someone like you is my little brother. That's right, I don't need a sister like you either. From now on, when Sumu disappears, you just obediently follow Brother Lao. Don't worry, I'll occasionally bring you news about our parents. Brother Lao, I leave her to you. All right, rest assured. But unexpectedly, he pulled out a gun, aimed at the back of Huan Ban, and fired. He collapsed to the ground in disbelief. Lu Renew. He's speaking very strangely, isn't he? If he sticks around, a fool is likelier to fail than succeed. I don't know how much trouble he'll cause. He kicked once and turned to look at her. Right, the contract still needs to be signed, yes. Either way, even if you aren't here, I can still demand a hefty penalty from the Su family for breach. Then he pulled out the red seal for her to press a fingerprint. Come on, put your hand out here. Lu Ringu, aren't you afraid? Of course I'm scared. I'm worried this place is so remote someone might suddenly break in. What if no one hears, or why not try screaming to find out? No sooner had the words left his lips than a car crashed through the door. He whipped his head around, and by then the car had halted before him and someone stepped out. The navigation is pretty accurate, huh? Right on time, otherwise all my work would have been wasted. Wang Manting appeared, gun in hand, in her capacity as a police officer. Lu Ringu, I suspect you of kidnapping, attempted murder, and other offenses, so I'm placing you under arrest. Why is a cop here? Don't move or I will, but before he could finish, she rushed straight at him. A sharp jab to the gut made him drop his gun. Her agile body twisted his arm behind his back. Don't move or I can't guarantee your joints won't snap into several pieces. Is it that impressive? I just happened to win a few martial arts championships. Let's go, there are already other officers outside to assist. Yuan now signaled Ringu. Mr. Lao, I gave you 50,000 and you handed me 500 million, which is too much. What is 500 million? Is this person out of his mind? Let's step outside and talk. Lingi was still very confident. Although he failed, it wasn't completely over. I still have billions in my accounts to mobilize every resource. At least I can bail them out, and I won't let those people go again. In the meantime, his men were also led away in handcuffs. Isn't this an employee from my company? How did you even get in? What happened to you all? It's the boss. The young man immediately broke down and recounted. They said the company ran into disaster. So the boss fled first, and I'm the only one who still believes in you. Boss, I never expected you'd get here before us. The company hit misfortune. What exactly happened? Doesn't the boss know what's going on? Please speak. The company's books were leaked, and now people are coming to check for tax evasion. We have to make up over 10 billion. What? And the stock price has also crashed. We found out someone made 500 million ahead of us. Boss, did we offend someone? Any leads? He then recalled Yuphone's hint earlier and couldn't stay steady, collapsing to the ground. There's nothing left. I have nothing at all. Meanwhile, the scar-faced man was delighted. Thank you, bro. You're really considerate. What did I do? Are you still worried about me at this point? If what I did inside is exposed, even if Lu Ringu dies, there will still be others in the Lu family who come after me. Who knows, they might even take revenge on my family. If you arrange for me to go in now, no one will suspect me anymore. At that moment, he understood and gave him a thumbs up. That's right, that's an awakening. Bro, I'll definitely better myself and come out to roll with you. Finally, it's over. Just head home and wait for the reward from the system. The scene shifts to Old Cow, who brings grilled food to him in the evening. Boss Lin, your grilled food is here. Thanks, man. Old Cow even brought it right to my place. It's nothing, just a small thing. Business has been good lately. This is partly thanks to Boss Lin for rescuing me. This is a special local wine from my hometown, a gift for you to try. Is it really that good? It's completely naturally fermented. And lately it's not only tasty, but also carries a lot of deeper meaning. Boss Lin, this place is so quiet, it just lacks a hostess. Coincidentally, this wine sounds like marriage, saying couples who drink it won't stop rocking their beds anytime soon. Is this marriage thing real or fake? It's not wrong. My wife and I also became a couple thanks to this bottle long ago. What year are we in that superstitions are still revered, old man? Don't underestimate it. There are quite a few herbal herbs infused in it. By modern explanations, it might boost some hormones. Just take your time drinking. I'm going downstairs to tend to the guests. All right, thanks, Old Cow. Yupo ate skewered meat while sipping a glass of wine. The wine had a rich, sweet flavor, quite enjoyable, but was it really as miraculous as Old Cow claimed? Yupon poured another glass. It's good. Next time I'll go to Old Cow to buy a bit more. Suddenly, Yuan heard a knock at the door. What's up, Old Cow? Did something fall? Amu appeared in a revealing dress. Lin Yuan, I asked Lin Ning for your address. Is now convenient? I have a few things to discuss with you. Okay, come inside first. Thank you, Lin Yuan. I want to apologize to you. All this time I've lived like a machine, focused only on my own goals, forgetting the feelings of those around me. That's why my younger brother ended up like this. Before, I truly didn't understand why he betrayed me, but perhaps the reason was also me. Yeah, maybe that's it. But why am I saying this to myself? But you aren't like that. You're like a knight, quietly protecting me without a word or asking for anything in return. What have I done? I investigated, and my father never sought any consulting company at all. That car from Masilu, the person who registered the plate, is also you. You arranged so much for me, and now I know you were so shy. You don't need to overthink it. The things I do have my own purposes, perhaps to deal with that kid. The more she spoke, the redder her face grew, but those things weren't important. What matters is, starting today, I want to live like a real person. I'll face my emotions directly, and then she kissed his warm lips before his surprised eyes. Even if you don't accept it, that's fine. I'm leaving now. But just as she was about to say goodbye, her body grew even hotter, as if she were about to faint. Are you okay, Linu? Why do I suddenly feel like doing bolder things? He suddenly realized. Why did the scent of alcohol feel so strong? Could it be residual alcohol, and why was the reaction so intense? Lin Yuan, can you make me a real woman? Afterward, Yuan used his finger technique. That skill made her clear-headed again. She came to, found herself sitting on top of him, and hurried to explain, this is me. I've sobered up. This isn't my fault. She quickly went to find her slippers, then made an excuse to leave out of earlier embarrassment. I'm sorry. She then saw a young man hurry past. Oh my God, I can't be mistaken, can I? Then he walked toward his room again. Brother Lin, I found Miss Su's expression very strange. Is it you who's bad or just too good? Seeing this, Yupon immediately shut the door, pinching his arm tight. After that, he opened the door to let him in. Brother Lin, I definitely won't say anything. I'm just here to specially congratulate you. Congratulate me on what? I've heard it all. The punk who messed with us was taken out by you, Brother Lin, so everyone's understandably happy. Let's go, Brother Lin. I'll take you to another place to hang out. This charity auction will give 30% of the proceeds to charitable organizations. Don't tell me you're the sort who loves doing charity work. You don't get it, Brother Lin. First, doing this helps them avoid taxes. Second, Brother Lin, look at the celebrities who usually sell at this venue. Do you get me? Just look at that group of gorgeous women over there and you'll understand. Got it. UX Oz, who debuted as a child star, is leaning in a corner. Brother Lin, look over there. Isn't that UX? Looks like it, but what's so thrilling about that? When I was young, I really liked the film Father and Daughter. She acted alongside Master Jonglin. She was beautiful and clever. She was my dream wife. So what? That means nothing. After growing up, I realized I only loved that role. As for herself, I felt nothing. Moreover, afterward she didn't appear in any films, so I assumed she had quit the entertainment industry. I never expected to run into her here. Maybe all child stars end up like that. UX walked toward him. Linu, will you stop with your bad habits behind people's backs? You recognize me now, huh? So what? I heard the muttering and it sounded very familiar indeed. It's you. Vice Chairman Biheng looked at the two of them baffled. So why are you here? I just tagged along with that guy. Young men are quick at flirting. Hello, I am Vice Chairman Biheng. Hello, I am Yuz. What's going on? Why can no one escape your clutches? If immediately kicked him. What the hell are you thinking? You're a fan of hers, yet you don't even know where she comes from. We're from the same town. Okay, that's the thing. I also don't know where she's from, right? So how did you two actually meet? He recalled that at first she wanted to transfer to the best school in town. As for me, the homeroom teacher asked me to tutor her after school in private. Back then, plenty of boys were fighting for that spot, yet he didn't want it. Oh my God, are you clueless? Don't you know how much time I've wasted at the maid cafe and gooning to goth girls? I barely had time for classes because of my performances. The final results prove that talent can't be underestimated. Didn't I say it was due to my excellent teaching skills? While the two were still chatting, someone approached from afar. ZOZ, didn't you agree to let me take you to the VIP channel? Chatting with these people here is completely beneath your status. Let's go. But ZOZ pushed the young man's hand away. Sorry, Mr. Chen, I'm fine here. If you think this is wrong, it might be because we're not the same kind of people. Let's go, classmate. Let's go, little star. What's there to be proud of? As he walked, he asked Zio, who is that guy? Chen Jaben, relying on his father, the richest man in the city, loves to pull little actors into the industry. I won't care about his few coins. He turned to look at his younger brother. What are you looking at me for? I've never broken any girl's heart. Finally, he understood why she was famous from a young age, but is no longer hot now. Isn't it because she's straightforward and pure, like a lotus rising from mud unstained? Because she refuses to curry favor and draws others' spite. That guy is the richest man's son. What will you do if he wants revenge, huh? Up at the auction, the next item is from Ms. Uxaz. This is the apprentice uniform Ms. Uxaz wore it when she became a disciple of the national master of Ping Opera, Zhang Lan. Although Master Zhang Lan has passed away, the spirit of Ping Opera he left behind is worth our remembrance and study. Welcome, everyone. Let's start the auction. But this time, even the team leader stayed silent. No one said a word. It seems to be that guy's trick, deliberately preventing others from bidding to embarrass you. Zio, the people behind are laughing. Who told her to offend our young Master Chen? What a shameful thing. Don't think of yourself as something real. Until now, you can only lean on Master Zhang Lan's name. As soon as he finished, he raised his paddle to bid 5 million. This gentleman bids 5 million. 5 million once. 5 million twice. Chen saw this and felt pleased. A peasant like him wants attention. This time he raised it to 7 million, and when Yupan saw this, he couldn't help but smile and bite the bait. He continued to 8 million, and Jan added another 100 to make it 9 million. Yupan raised it to 9.5 million, 100 lower than his last raise. He thought with satisfaction, a loser is still a loser. Can't hold on anymore, right? He raised it to 9.99 million. Uxio Zio, later you'll have to kneel before me and regret it. He said that this JB is indeed different, spending nearly 10 million just to buy a set of clothes. But if someone prefers items that still carry the original scent? Feeling provoked by what he said, he thought angrily, damn it, I've been deceived. Turning around, he said, so what if I'm doing charity? I only see you shouting prices, but where's the buying? What's the rush? If there's something you like, I'll act at once. Let me tell you, if I find you lack the ability to bargain and are deliberately causing trouble, then don't blame me for being impolite. For the next auction item, the starting price is 5 million. According to the seller's commission, this is an heirloom treasure over 200 years old. If it weren't truly necessary, they wouldn't have dared bring it to auction. The supply is scarce and the jade is of high quality. It's just a fake stone like this. Who needs it? That's right. Hurry up and bring out the genuine items, and I'm glad I finally waited. This time I raise my offer to 6 million. He laughed loudly. I thought you were formidable, but it turns out you're just a fool, spending several million on a worthless stone. Do you need me to go to the riverbank and scoop up a few truckloads for you? One person examined the stone and said, no, this is not a fake mountain. From my observation, this is an exquisite spirit jade, extremely rare within the spirit jade category. The intricate special textures could only have formed over thousands of years. At that moment, everyone realized the person on stage was Old Shai, the living fossil. Old Shai stands at the top of the classical Chinese garden design world. Shai Yinping, anything Old Shai is interested in certainly isn't an ordinary object. He told everyone this could be a collectible item, but to me it's the final piece in my current design. I'm willing to pay 100 million, which is the highest price on the market today. I wonder if you'd consider letting me have this rock garden. I'm sorry, but I also need this piece. Moreover, the old gentleman is mistaken about one thing. What is it? This piece is not Moyan Ling by stone, but white jade Ling by stone. He raised his hand to continue bidding 200 million. 200 million once, 200 million twice at this moment, and Pin took a closer look. White jade Ling by stone. Did I misjudge? Old Shai said it was some kind of white jade, even rarer than Mayan stone. White jade is far less rare than million stone. Right now, the highest selling price for finished pieces is only around 100 million. Yet this kid still deliberately raises the price so high, truly relying on money just to make people uncomfortable. Chen Jin even intentionally belittles Old Shai's face without any respect. So what if he has money? He is probably packing more in the bank than his pants. Let me explain to everyone. It's not like that. I'm offering such a high price simply because it's worth that much. Old Shai already said white jade is only worth about 100 million. Are you really better than Old Shai? If you don't believe it, let's bet. I'll stake 20 million to see whether I profit or lose. Fine, just don't blame me when you end up losing so badly you won't have pants to wear. Seeing this, he paid even more attention to the stone. This young man wasn't aiming at him, but why say such things? Could it be he had missed something? I understand now, such a simple reason I couldn't think of, he spoke loudly. The true value of this stone doesn't lie in the stone itself, but in the craftsmanship and the person who once owned it. Simply put, to carve white jade into a form with this grade of stone demands extremely refined technique. So it's certainly the work of a master craftsman. Often the labor costs more than the material. Thus, the price will multiply. Therefore, only prestigious families or even royalty would dare to do such a thing. Inside, Chen Jian was also sweating. Elder Shai said that if this stone once belonged to a noble or royal household, its value must exceed 300 million. The whole room gasped. "Oh my God, Brother Lin, we came to spend money, and you came to pick up money. If you're picking it up, at least let us pick some too." I can't believe I've studied antiques for half my life, yet my eyesight is still worse than the younger generation, truly learning in vain. This stone doesn't belong to me, so it should be yours. Thank you very much, old sir. At this point, he also began examining the stone. The reason I want this is very simple, to absorb spiritual energy. I didn't expect that rescuing Mui would unlock the ability to draw in spiritual energy. He pulled the energy accumulated in the stone into his body, and the best conductors for this are precious pieces that have been carefully nurtured by people. He felt the source of power surrounding him. Not bad, just like a power bank. That's right, Mr. Shai, I have a suggestion. What is it? I bought this stone just to use for a while, and after using it, Mr. Shai can take it back for a 20 million recharge. 20 million to recharge? Are you serious, Mr. Lin? Of course, I'm not profiting from this. If Mr. Shai thinks it's too cheap, he can contribute more to the charity fund. How much he donates has nothing to do with me. Oh my God, what do you call this kind of vision then? You're something else. Tonight, there's a business deal worth tens or even hundreds of millions. I also want to discuss it with him. Of course, I have a small request. I wonder if Elder Shai can help me. Mr. Lin, please go ahead. I like to feel these precious stones up close. If it's convenient, could Elder Shai help me find a few sources? If that's all, I know quite a few museum directors. Perhaps I can help you, Mr. Lin. Then it's settled. My plan is perfect. Not only can I absorb the stone's aura, but I can also handle a bunch of high-end goods. Some museum items aren't even available for money. Thank you very much, Mr. Lin. After all, I liked this stone at first sight. To be honest, finding another one as good as this might be difficult. See, in the end, he still has to thank me. Meanwhile, Chen Jian had to go outside. Out of the way. Move aside, damn it. Because of this, I lost 30 million. My father's 7 horses must be well fed by now. But just then, Fuba was standing at the door. Where do you think you're running off to? Why, it's the son of the city's richest tycoon, and you want to default on 30 million. No, it's not that I want to default, it's just that I can't take the money out right now. Once the redevelopment project for Hong Commune is approved, I will definitely pay you back. Isn't Hong Commune where we're living? What redevelopment project? Who told you that? It's something a few people in the industry are whispering about. No one really cares if it's true or not. As long as someone says they're sure, I will invest. No wonder Mrs. Shen's son suddenly went bankrupt. No wonder Mrs. Shen had to rush to sell her house. So it was all part of someone's scheme. All right, after signing the debt paper, you can go. How infuriating. Has this young master ever had to endure such humiliation? After everything was settled, he received a phone call. What's wrong, Mrs. Shen? Is it you, Yan? I'm sorry, dear, but I might not be able to sell that house to you anymore. I will also refund the 15 million to you. Mrs. Shen, if I'm not mistaken, your son must have informed you by now, right? Saying that 10 million isn't enough to resolve the company's crisis. You need more, correct? Wait, Yan, how do you know? These tricks are just common tactics used by those people. Don't worry, I will come over tomorrow to discuss this with you. All right, then I'll wait for you tomorrow. You. Lin, thank you tonight. I didn't expect that after all these years, Lin Yuan has completely changed. It's all right. By the way, do you have a bracelet or something made of jade on you? Can I borrow it for a while, Jade? She took the jade piece from her neck. So does this count? Yes, give it to me. Golden jade not only helps amplify one's spiritual energy, but can also serve as an intermediary. The effect of an ordinary traditional remedy can last only a few days at most. If sealed in jade, it can remain effective for several months, he said, as if diagnosing her. Looking at her, he saw the blood was weak, her limbs loose, and sweat on her brow. It must be very painful, right? Wear this in the future, it won't hurt anymore, and it will be gentle each month. Okay, I'll go first. She was so embarrassed her whole face turned red. How can anyone talk about these things in public? But this person was still the same as before. The next day, Mrs. Shen brought another man to sit with him. Mrs. Shen, who is he? I'm Zhang Yuan, the chairman of the Yuanmen group. You are Lin Yuan. We don't need to be long-winded. Mrs. Shen's houses, hand them over quickly. Just hand them over if I say so. He told Yuan to follow his advice and claimed it was a win-win. After all, he wasn't even eligible to enter the household registration, and paying him back would be nothing. You can't hold this. Yuan, I'm sorry, Mr. Zhang said that as long as I hand over the house to him, he will ensure nothing happens to my dimwit, loser of a son. Haven't you realized they're in cahoots with the ones who harmed your son? They want to force you to sell the house cheaply, then wait for the Hong Commune renovation approval so they can sell it back at a high price. As for what happened to your son, it's just their bargaining chip. Kid, you seem to know the news very well. Mrs. Shen felt that knowing or not knowing, what could it matter? Yuan, we are ordinary people. I just want to ensure my son's safety. What if I said I have a way to help you, Mrs. Shen? Yuan, come on, Yuan, it's just a bit of money. I don't need to be tied to them and drag myself in. Yuan even put his foot on the table to provoke him. Come here. I want to see what they can do if I don't retreat. Boy, you like showing off like that. Let's see if you have any bravery. Then he clapped his hands and the guys behind him appeared. Teach him a lesson. The men rushed at him with their fists, but in a moment the crowd was sitting on the ground with swollen faces. Sorry, it seems I really do have the bravery. Policemen came out of nowhere. The police on duty shouted, do not move. Zhang Yuan pointed, that's him. He severely injured innocent civilians. Hurry up and arrest him. Yuan explained to the officers that they had gathered here to cause trouble. Look how many of them are dealing with just me. How could I have the upper hand? Don't talk nonsense. I've witnessed your criminal conduct already. Cuff him and take him away. This time you can only submit and be handcuffed. The two policemen glanced at Zhang Yuan, deliberately winking as a signal. Zhang Yuan smirked inwardly, thinking, kid, what do you have to pit against me? Yuan thought, so this is what's happening. This time he was brought into the police station. Get in and behave yourself. He glanced around for a moment left and right, thinking he was quite resourceful. The officer promptly kicked away the chair he was about to sit on. Who allowed you to sit in my territory? Do what I tell you. Then Zhang Yuan picked up a piece of paper. I know you've got some money. There are no cameras here and you can't hire a lawyer. If you want out, there's only one way. If you know what's good for you, sign it quickly. Otherwise, I can make you suffer until you're exhausted. I know you people are good at scheming, but as for the old houses in the Honggong apartment complex, you won't get even a single room. Hearing this, Zhang Yuan was furious. Who do you think you are? To tell you the truth, not counting Mrs. James's group, dozens of families have already agreed to sell their houses to me. Suddenly, he received a phone call. Second master, if there's something, say it quickly. As soon as he listened, his face turned grim. What did you say? They all want to raise the price. Nonsense. Have they gone mad from poverty? If we raise the price for them, what profit can we make? But boss, they all say someone is offering 5 times the price to buy the old houses in the Honggong apartment complex. 5 times? Who's so crazy? He stood up. Then the other guy looked over and understood. It's you. I told you that you won't get even a single room. Going back a moment, he made a phone call. This group, I'm afraid, isn't just targeting Mrs. Young. If I don't reply in half an hour, proceed as planned. Handle it according to what I've told you. All right. Who made me your secretary anyway? Down at the Honggong apartment complex, Ryan was sitting in the middle telling the people there, the Hong apartment complex is buying houses at a high price. 5 times. 5 times, all of them. 5 times. 5 times. Young lady, are you really buying houses in the Honggong apartment complex? 5 times the market value. Of course, sir. The guy on the other side heard this and could only clutch his head, finding it hard to deal with. Sir, didn't you already agree with us? Back to the present, the young man slammed his hand on the table. What's wrong with you buying houses at such a high price? You'll lose everything. Sorry. When I buy things, I don't care about profit or loss, but if someone makes me unhappy, I'll definitely make sure they don't make any money. He angrily grabbed his collar. Damn you. Just then, the head of the Wewing Development Zone, Yao Jiwen, pushed the door open. Zhang Yuan immediately turned his head to look. Yao Jiwen immediately flung the paper in his face. Can't get the houses right, Zhang Yuan. What kind of business are you running? Do you know how important this development zone is? Later, so many projects will revolve around it. Director Yao, it's really not due to my incompetence, but because this kid is deliberately causing us trouble. Isn't this Director Yao of the Wang Development Zone? A prominent figure who's on the news every day. I've never met this kid before. What's his background? Director Yao, I've never heard of this person in Wu Changzheng either. Perhaps he's newly rich. He angrily turned on Zhang Yuan. Newly rich? A newly rich guy managed to stop you all. You are truly useless. Linu laughed and said, a dignified head of the development zone, yet he colludes with local contractors, coerces and entices and schemes to harm people. In your opinion, how many years would I be sentenced to? Guy snatched the gun from the police officer beside him and pointed it straight at Lin Yan's head. So what? Do you have evidence? Even if you do you think you'll get out of here alive to sue me? Just then, a person wearing glasses walked over. Director Ya, everything has been arranged. Without your order, no one can enter. Hand over the houses to me, or I have countless ways to deal with you. He then saw the person's back, which looked extremely familiar. Seeing this person, this time he no longer felt any fear. Hasn't the evidence arrived? I remember you all said there were no cameras here, right? What do you want to do? Yuan used a gentle force to break the handcuffs on his wrists. Take a guess. Then he threw a punch straight at Juan's head, making several people fall to the ground. He took Yao Juan's phone, borrowing this for a bit. Half an hour later, he was still sitting there calmly, holding the phone. Damn it. You dare hit a state official. I want to make you rot in jail for the rest of your life. Wait until you get out of here, then I'll return that sentiment to you. That's my phone. Who do you want to call? Making a call? I don't know any leaders. I'm just watching the Pokemon live stream. Just then, a police officer outside called in. Director Yo, there's been no movement in there for a while. Is everything all right? Captain Zihu, come in here quickly. This Lin Yuan is a terrorist. I was attacked by him. Hearing this, the police officer kicked the door open. What? The Kaijin again pointed the gun at him. Don't move. Hands up. Ji Yuan said, you're done for. Linu, aren't you good at fighting? Come on, try me. Let's see who in Wu Cheng can help you now. Just then, a voice came from behind. I wonder if I can help him. It was the voice of Bureau Chief Zhou. Do you want to do that? Asked Commissioner Shen. Commissioner Shen, why are you here? This is all a misunderstanding. A misunderstanding. Director Yo, your secretary colluded with the Manhwa group, threatening the residents of the Honggong apartment complex. Is that also a misunderstanding? Then Commissioner Shen held up the phone. The evidence is all here. Take a look. The video showed the secretary threatening people in the apartment complex. Commissioner Shen, this is just his own doing. It has nothing to do with me. Is that so, Director Yo? Have you forgotten what's stored on your phone? Stored what? Bank balances. Impossible. I transferred it to an overseas account long ago. Stop playing dumb. Linu, even if what I did to you involves some disciplinary issues, you slandered me, falsely accusing a public official. That crime doesn't carry a light sentence. Let me remind you, that's the chat history you left on the live stream platform. Live stream platform. This Miss Lu is a streamer. She saved the video evidence of your assistant threatening Mrs. Zhang, and the fastest way to contact her was through the live stream. Wanzi, seeing she could help him, flashed a V sign. At that time, Wanzi was live streaming. Thank you to the #1 powerhouse in Wu Changzheng for gifting me a cruise ship. But unexpectedly in it, Lin Yuan said, Wanzi, it's me, Linu. Check his IP, brother. I used your account to contact Miss Lu, but guess what? I found out, Director Yo, it seems you really enjoy collecting exquisite antiques. You often take your treasures to find shady appraisers for authentication. Coincidentally, I also know a little about this. From what I see, every single one of them is genuine and very expensive. Let me guess, these are items that contractors sought out and gifted to you according to your preferences, right? Zhang Yuan said. Yao Jiwen, you unscrupulous bastard. For those little things of yours, I had to rack my brains, and yet you suspected they were fakes. All businessmen are treacherous. Who knows if merchants like you would use fakes to deceive me? At this moment, Zhang Yuan and Ji Yuan realized their mistake. Having misspoken, Commissioner Shen said, Thank you for providing the evidence. We will follow this lead to investigate. Now you want to take them away after I risked everything to attract investment and development. How could witching have grown so well otherwise? So what if I earned a bit of money? Those are things I merited. All of it I deserved. After everything was settled, Lin Yuan and Wanzi stepped outside. Wanzi, I was lucky this time thanks to you. If you hadn't helped me submit the video in time, I'm afraid I wouldn't have gotten out so easily. Fortunately, Uncle Shen is a good, fair, upright leader. But you didn't remember my contact info and had to use a live stream to find me. Just then someone tapped his shoulder. Brother, is this yours? It fell on the ground. Wanzi saw it and was startled. It's mine. Hold it tight. It doesn't look cheap. Thank you. How many times has this happened? I put it in my pocket, and if I'm careless, it drops again. Just then, a buxom woman bumped into the young man's arm. Big Brother Dabo, is that you? I saw you from afar earlier, but couldn't greet you. Are you Tadao? You're the one who contacted me online. It's me, Brother Dabo. You're much more handsome in person than online. The young man flushed all over after being praised like that. Really? She reached out and touched his forehead. It's so hot, isn't it? Look, you're all sweaty, that's right. What would you like to drink? I'll go buy it for you. Anything is fine. I didn't expect to have such a high-quality female fan. Mom, it seems your son, who's been a virgin until now, is finally about to crack a baddie. Hey, brother, did you come from afar? Are you meeting an online friend? Could say that. What's up? Since you just helped my friend earlier, let me give you a word of advice. Be careful with online dating. Don't rush in or get swayed by lust. What nonsense are you spouting? What you see might not be the truth. You should be more cautious. My friend, you don't need to worry about this. I'm not bragging, but fiery eyes and golden pupils describe me. My friend, professionalism has been in my genes since I was young. The person who can trick me hasn't even been born yet. Brother, you should worry about yourself instead. All right then, suit yourself. Tadao ran over. Brother Dabo, I bought it for you. Let's go. Let's find a cool place to talk. Okay. Seeing this, Lin Yuan just sighed with relief. An announcement sounded. Host has completed all newbie missions and is entering the next stage. It's finally here. Before the reward, please select the difficulty for the main mission. Very hard, hard, or normal. Oh God, don't keep bringing me trouble all day. Choose the simple one. Saying that, he tapped the air. From Wanzi's view, it looked like he was longingly staring at that girl's figure from afar. She flushed with anger, then shoved him. Indeed, you male students are all the same. Wanzi, what are you doing? Don't think I don't know. Just now, brother was staring at that girl for a long time, wasn't he? At this moment, the system confirmed that when he pressed the button, the host would unlock the extremely difficult main mission. Establish your own business empire. Mission 1, within 1 week, recruit 3 top-tier employees in the industry. Mission 2, within 1 month, upgrade the business under you to become the top team in China. All missions must be completed on time, otherwise the host will lose the ability to urinate. What the hell, brother? Did I hurt you? Your complexion doesn't look too good. He turned and said, pushing me like that isn't just painful, it's like taking my life. Why is the mission so cruel? Being #1 in China, is that something I can do just because I want to? Just then, the phone rang. It was Elder Shai. Little brother Lin, remember last time you said you wanted to see stones, right? Recently, the Witching Museum received new exhibits. I'll wait for you there. Top talent in the industry is here, isn't he? Scene shifts to the Witching Museum. He looked at the stones that were just brought in. This is a chrysanthemum stone formed in the UX area. Right. Chrysanthemum stone is divided into 2 types, one with chrysanthemum patterns formed by the accumulation of ancient organisms' petals and one formed by natural minerals. The petals are marble and the flower's center is black flint. Elder Shai, am I right? Little brother Lin is indeed very knowledgeable. He walked over and whispered, Elder Shai, I actually have something I'd like to trouble you with. A moment later, he had heard Lin Yuan's whole story. I understand now. Little brother Lin, logically speaking, for appraisers like us, the most important word in life is caution. In any case, a small mistake can ruin a lifetime's reputation and savings. But I believe in your character. I agree to join your company. That's great. Elder Shai, our company is currently short-staffed. Do you know anyone else who's talented? Please introduce a few to me. Rest assured, the compensation will rival that of an OnlyFans model. Little brother Lin, I'm afraid this might be a bit difficult. You know, it's not just about money. I can make some calls and ask for you. By the way, little brother Lin, has the company's registration certificate been processed yet? He was startled at that. What registration certificate? Seeing this, Elder Shai was also taken aback. After finishing up there, he left, scratching his head. Now this is troublesome. Even with Elder Shai's reputation, no one has agreed to join yet. I won't have to use a urinary catheter for the rest of my life, will I? At this time, on the way back to the company, the place was very noisy. Trash, scumbag men should be locked up. I heard he's also a streamer. Men with money don't know their own virtues. Lin Yuan immediately opened the door and asked Manager Wang, what's going on? Boss, you're back. I heard a streamer brought a fan to our hotel and caused trouble. To put it mildly, he slept with a fan. In reality, he tried to molest the girl. She didn't agree and resisted right away. A woman was comforting a girl, a streamer. Don't worry, young lady, there are many of us. We will definitely help you uphold justice. This person was none other than Tadao. Lin Yuan smiled. So it's him. Tadao was crying and acting scared. But I'm a boy. And Tadao started to take off the maid outfit, revealing a sturdy, muscular build. That's right. Is there anything wrong with me liking to cross-dress that I deserve to be bullied? It's this pervert. He said he liked this type of style and insisted on having me. I can't even say it. Daba was sweating profusely. This is an injustice. It was clearly him who seduced me. The people there rushed in and beat Daba relentlessly. Trash only knows how to bully the weak. If you're so tough, try my 5 consecutive whips. Back off, back off. I think you're possessed by a pig demon. You look like a large intestine and you dare say he seduced you. That's right. What boy would use his own innocence to slander you? Then Tadao smiled dangerously from afar. Lin Yuan immediately guessed that Dabo had most likely been framed. Earlier, that kid Dabo had an aura of resentment around him. I already warned you. Who told you not to listen? Manager Wang said, boss, rest assured, although this happened in our hotel, it definitely won't affect our reputation. On the contrary, by always protecting the victim, we can leverage the publicity to promote our corporate image. Wait a minute. Did you say that boy is a streamer? Yes, it seems he's a treasure appraisal streamer. His channel is called something like Da Giant. What's wrong, boss? I started searching for the name on a streaming platform. No wonder he looked familiar. The streamer that the district chief secretly contacted before was him. With such strong charisma, he must be a top anchor in the treasure appraisal streaming circle. The photographers began firing their shutters non-stop to spark a hot search. Right now, the well-known streamer Dog Giant on the Shark streaming app is being exposed for molesting a fan. You didn't see that coming, did you? A real man must bravely face challenges head-on. Streamer Brother Dobao truly grasped this, saying, "It's clearly not like that. Why are you framing me?" He then recalled earlier. "Brother Dao, I'm your fan. I have a family heirloom I want to show you. Since it's a family heirloom, I can only find a secret place to show it to you alone. Let's rent a hotel room, okay?" As soon as he arrived, the fake girl Tadao began shrieking as if she were the victim. Help me, this person wants to molest me. I didn't do anything." Dao blamed himself for being too naive. Now whatever he said was pointless. He closed his eyes, apologizing to his late mom. "I'm sorry." Just then, Daba tried to shove past the police. "This guy wants to run, catch him, quick." At that moment, Dao stared at the stone pillar ahead, wanting to end it all. Mom's wish to hold her grandchild probably won't come true anymore. But just as he was about to dash forward, Yuan held him back firmly. "Don't splatter blood on the wall. If you fail to die by headbutting the wall, you'll have to compensate until you're broke. It's the big brother from before. I'm so stupid." "If only I had listened to you earlier," Yuan said. "All right, stop crying. Come with me. I can help you." The young man immediately knelt. "Big brother, can you help me get the room's camera footage to clear my name?" Yuan said. "Don't even think about it. How could that exist?" At this moment, behind Dauber came the crowd's curses. "Trash, scum. He should be physically castrated." Meanwhile, that schemer at the side smirked slyly, then pretended to cry again as though he were innocent. "Thank you, everyone. I'm very sleepy now. I want to leave first." But unexpectedly, this time Wire Fa's bodyguards blocked the door. "Esteemed guest, please wait a moment." Tada asked, "What's wrong?" Manager Wang replied thoughtfully, "We sincerely apologize that you encountered such an unfortunate incident at our hotel. To ensure the safety and rights of our patrons before the police arrive, we will assign a responsible person to accompany and assist you." Tada quickly declined. "Report it to the police?" "No need. I don't want to make it a big deal." Just then, another woman walked over. "Mr. Jingji, so now you know you don't want to make a fuss. Last month you slandered us and raised a ruckus demanding compensation. It wasn't like that. Let me introduce myself to everyone. I'm the person in charge at New Gravity Company. This Mr. John is a former employee of my firm. He fabricated stories that our company oppressed him into depression, seriously harming our reputation." "Did you forget the medical record you forged used a template from the long-abandoned Provincial People's Hospital?" The reporters swarmed the young man. "Is this true? How do you explain it?" "This is my personal matter." Another person stepped up. "Personal, my ass? You're the one who took money illegally, the one who falsely accused others of obscenity, the one who claimed his butt was groped on the subway. That was you, wasn't it? Look, everyone, look. It's clearly a staged setup." Even stuffed underwear into someone's bag. Tada feigned innocence. "Who are you?" The man raged. Who am I? You don't recognize me? My entire career as a key player on the TBD team was wrecked by you. Someone in the back paid close attention. I recognize him. He seems to be the manager of the TBD team. Is this a direct expose? No wonder their team skipped the field battle competition. Town panicked and shoved people away. I don't know what you're talking about. Move aside, quickly. Another person appeared. Wait, so you spiked my coffee with alcohol, got me arrested for drunk driving, and made me miss an important trial. Too bad you didn't expect the dash cam to have 2 lenses that record inside the car. Right then, DBA couldn't believe so many people were exposing scandals. Big brother, just because they couldn't move forward with your case doesn't mean the opponent has no weak spots. A voice rang out. Found it. Everyone, look at this. Didn't this person disguise himself as a blind Mur last year to scam living allowances? Damn, just last week he even donated to a fake sister on a fundraising app. At this time, the police arrived after receiving a report. Mr. John Tata, you have been listed as a key person of interest in multiple criminal cases. Come with us. I never thought hurting others would end up backfiring like this. So what? Being scammed is exactly what you all deserve. Everyone pretends to be so righteous when I donate money. The ones who slipped room cards into hospital rooms, weren't they sanctimonious people like you? Everyone was startled upon hearing this. Dow's tears flowed without end. Now you all believe me, right? I truly was framed by him. Scene change. After the matter was resolved, Brother Lin, this time I was lucky thanks to you proving my innocence. If you hadn't stepped in, I might already have crossed the Nub Bridge. He had now recruited 2 of the industry's top talents. Brother Lin, from now on I'll put an iron bed in the company's live room. On streaming days, I absolutely won't stand anyone up. I'll repay you properly. At that moment, a woman approached. Yuan, take a look at this. Although we did media work and posted articles to clarify the rumors, most were deleted quickly. Moreover, many seeding accounts are stirring up public opinion. For example, someone claims that in Heng last year my best friend was invited to a hotel by him. Back then, he wasn't as famous as now. There's chat history as proof and a website link. I told you this kid was shady. Someone dug up a photo taken backstage at a music show last year. He and that male model were daringly face-to-face in the shot. This is just whitewashing. People in the industry all understand. This live team spends millions of yuan every year controlling public sentiment. Whoever is exposing this scandal, be careful about your safety. Yuan asked Daba. It seems we've offended some big shot. Do you have any idea who it might be? Doba replied. I'm not sure either. If I had to guess, there was a super hot old coin model in the collector's circle before. I accidentally mentioned the supply was too large and that something seemed off. Could it be because of that? Anyway, boss, I won't dwell on other things anymore. I'm a streamer, it's too easy for others to target me. From now on, I should speak and act more cautiously. Good that you know. You can start working now. Go to a sales live. A sales live? Brother Lin, our fields are different. Are you asking me to sell real goods or fake ones? Yuan replied. No need to ask, of course fakes. How could there be genuine collectibles for appreciation that can be mass-produced? But boss, I've never earned money against my conscience. Who was it that said he would work hard to repay me? I signed you to make money. If you don't hit 1 million yuan in revenue today, you can't end the stream. Then he laughed like a villainous boss while the employee could only accept his fate. Scene change. Galaxy Group building. A man was watching a live stream. Brothers and sisters, look closely. Today, DABO is not here to appraise, but to sell fake goods to everyone. Today, it's this limited edition blue and white porcelain vase from the shores of Damming Lake. I'm not going to lie to you all, it's not a 100-year-old heirloom. It's a modern limited edition handicraft, clay plus 3D printing technology. Original price is $998. Today's shocking price is only $39.9 only in this live stream. Buy it to arrange flowers or for display. If it breaks, you won't feel sorry. Everyone, hurry up and place your orders. Seeing this, the man angrily slammed his palm on the table. Why is that guy DABO still live streaming? His underlings, hearing this, trembled because they couldn't get the job done. You guys can't even handle a fledgling streamer. What kind of work are you doing? Sir, it's not that we didn't try, but he has someone backing him. They are constantly spending a lot of money. I think if this continues, it won't be good. Which company is it? It's the Fog Group. Never heard of it, probably newly established. They want to use this streamer to gain some traction. The man declared, the antiques field has always been the territory of my Galaxy Group. If these newcomers don't know the rules, let me open their eyes for them. Let's go. Do as I say.